Tuned into the truth frequency.
We are TFR.
Media.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
Culture. Don't watch. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal. More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
We obviously got some audio problems tonight. TFR definitely needs a tune-up. Anyhow, I think the intro music would be over. I think I'm not talking over background noise. And anyhow, lots to go over tonight. Before we get into anything, though, I just want to promote something that's actually on the Rumble platform. This is where they have their channel set up right now. It used to be on YouTube. They've been taken down off YouTube like many other people. They've reestablished themselves on Rumble, but they're not really getting any views there. Not nearly what they deserve. If you have the time, you don't have to watch the whole video. It's about an hour and 18 minutes. Wooz News. Wooz News. WOOZ space news. He's been doing good work for a long time. He has done some... I don't know where he compiled all this video footage. I'd seen some of it before, but man, did he find a lot. If you think January 6th was anything other than a media production, you have to watch this video. He has some really good footage of how they staged the Ashley Babbitt death scene. It's undeniable. And we'd already seen parts of that footage in the past, and I talked about how Ashley Babbitt was the huge 201 ritual that day. But he has all kinds of really good footage showing just how contrived this was. And again, I mean, it's sad that he's compiled something. It's excellent. You know, I would argue that I might have the best January 6th work on the internet in light of how we forecasted it accurately advanced, and YouTube took down my whole channel over nailing it before it happened because we knew about the Transition Integrity Project, June 12th, 2020 at Jesuit Georgetown. But if there's anything better, it's definitely this. And I might say this is better because this will actually reach more people. Like, more people can digest watching video and seeing the con job that it was. So I'm gonna say that I don't have the best January 6th work on the internet. I think it's the second best because out of everything I've seen now, I think this is the best. And he does give a little shout out to Gematria in the video. I wish he hit the 2-all-1 piece. But again, you take the best of his video and you take the best presentations we've done of the massive 2-all-1 ritual, connecting everything from George Floyd to January 6th to why the first Jesuit popes in Suite 201. You put those things together, you know, you really start to connect the dots and see who's orchestrating the theater of the media. But yes, Wooz News. I got to give this a shout out. Watch this video, share it. It's the types of things that, you know, just even people who hate looking into anything, if they just start to watch, their curiosity might be sparked enough to continue to watch and watch more and see just what a con job this was. And it frustrates me to think that I literally had my channel deleted by YouTube for forecasting that there would be a death on January 6th because it was simulated at the Transition Integrity Project, and there'd be themes of the Confederate, the Confederates and the Civil War, and it was just so obvious everything that was going to play out before it happened. Having done the research we did, it ended up being everything we said and more, and just punished by big tech. And what's amazing too is I'd love to interview this guy and find out how he got all this footage. I don't know if he had people send it to him or what, but just watch the film. Wooz News, WOOZ space news. Him and I do not have any affiliation, but he shared the video and asked me to check it out, and I did. And I was sad to see that it doesn't even have 5,000 views on the internet and only 130 likes. Like, I don't know how you could watch this video and not hit the like button. But anyway, that aside, just want to go over some other headlines from recent days. The national debt is now more than $33 trillion. You know what day they announced this? September 18th, which was the day in history the cornerstone was laid for Washington, D.C. way back in 1793. So this was the 230th anniversary of the laying of the cornerstone. But it was a Masonic ritual with George Washington when they laid the cornerstone. And 33, big number with Masonry. Again, the House of the Temple, the Masonic headquarters in D.C., has 33 columns on the outside that are each 33 feet tall. And then you learn Gematria, the simple practice of coding numbers into words. The word Masonry itself is 33. So is federal. So is secrecy. So is order. Big number. The word craft, the knowledge of the Masons, they refer to it as the craft. But 33 trillion on that anniversary, in light of all the Masonic symbolism all over the dollar bill, and D.C. being known as the Masonic City. So I wanted to make sure that didn't slip through the cracks. 33 trillion, unbelievable. And for things like Ukraine, things that don't have to do with America, as people denounce the idea of a new world order, even though men who've occupied the Oval Office have talked about it many a time. Okay, now here's a story that was just reported as some kind of spoof on the internet today, some kind of hacker hoax, and it's obvious that it's more than that. Donald Trump Jr.'s X account was hacked, his spokesman says. Those were headlines today, September 20th, 2023. And what I'm going to show, and I never connected these dots before today, but as time goes on, things become more obvious. I covered these stories around the same time, but Donald Trump, he was called the 45th president-elect. Well, again, we're going to get to why this all happened today, but I got to go back in time first. We got to go back to 2016, November 2016. Remember, it was the early hours of November 9th. The election was November 8th. They waited until the early hours of November 9th to call the election for Donald Trump, the 45th president-elect, on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. And it was ironic because Trump ran on Reagan's Make America Great Again, and Reagan said tear down that wall in regards to the Berlin Wall, and then Trump ran on building a wall, and both men coming from Hollywood. Remember, Reagan was the 33rd governor of California. Hollywood has that Gematria 33. They're saying that Trump's considering the governor from South Dakota right now, the 33rd governor of the state, who's advertising all over Fox News about why you should move to South Dakota, where Mount Rushmore was, where Trump appeared on the campaign trail sometime back. But also in November of 2016, right after Trump became president-elect, Fidel Castro died. The communist, Jesuit-educated communist was Fidel Castro, who was responsible for so much fear in the U.S. during the time of the Cold War, backing the Soviet Union. Castro died November 25th. Again, right after Trump became president-elect. Berlin Wall, communist, history, back to World War, threats of World War, rumors of World War. It went on during the Cold War. It's going on right now. When Castro died, recall what I talked about. I talked about how it was 433 days after his meeting with the Pope, Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope. And the day that Fidel Castro met with the Pope was this day in history. It was September 20th, 2015, 8 years ago today. He shook hands with the Pope. Jesuit Castro meets the first Jesuit Pope. And then he dies 433 days later, Castro, the 84th prime number. Remember, the Jesuit order is 84 the small way. The word Jesuit alone is 84 the big way. Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, has 84 in his birth numerology path. Again, the United States has had diplomatic relations with the Vatican since 84. United States of America, the small way, 84. Big number. But then Castro's son died 433 days later, the 84th prime, supposedly from suicide. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because 433 days before today, Donald Trump's ex-wife died 45 years after their marriage. 433, the 84th prime. Donald Trump, Jesuit educated at Fordham. Both Castro and Trump, what they have in common, Jesuit educated. So Donald Trump Jr., the story is that on Twitter today, now named X, the account got hacked and he posted that Donald Trump was dead and he would run in his place for the 2024 election. And the media broke that news before then they said, oh, wait, it was just a hack. We're looking more into it. And again, the rebranding of X, you guys, the 24th letter, they officially rebranded on the 24th of July, 247, while the country's 247 years old. We've been talking about all the Jesuit rituals with Elon Musk for years, the little Jesuit puppet that he is. With regards to the whole 84 piece, today is 84 days after Elon Musk's birthday. His birthday is June 28th. Today is 84 days later. And we've been documenting this all along the way, including how we knew Twitter was going to become political and how Elon Musk made his offer to buy Twitter on April 14th, the day in history Lincoln was shot during the Civil War. And again, just all this Civil War stuff going on right now, all these little rituals that people aren't catching on to. Trump in Montgomery the day before the race brawl in Montgomery, which was on the anniversary of a remembered battle in Montgomery during the Civil War. Little jokes all along the way. And let's not forget that Trump was at Hotel Address 201 the day before the race brawl, when that's the number all over January 6th, and George Floyd, which happened on Memorial Day, which came out of the Civil War. And again, just all the things that they keep trying to provoke over and over by this little code. So here's the other piece about Donald Trump Jr. posting this today. It's not just that it's 84 days after Elon Musk's birthday. It's that what I just talked about with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., if you follow my other platforms, this past weekend. RFK Jr. was campaigning in Los Angeles, where his father was killed on the campaign trail in 1968. Again, they said RFK Jr. was shot late June 5th, died early June 6th. Kind of like how Lincoln was shot late April 14th, died early April 15th. Kind of like how the Titanic hit the iceberg late April 14th, sunk early April 15th all the way. Kind of like how Futility Wreck of the Titan was written more than a decade earlier about the largest boat ever sinking after hitting an iceberg while sailing from Europe to the United States, and it was called the Titan as opposed to the Titanic. Again, if you don't know about that book, Futility Wreck of the Titan, look that up. Ultimate predictive programming. And that factors back into this post today. So with RFK Jr., what we talked about over the weekend, from the assassination scare at his campaign event, if you missed the story, a man posed as a security and was strapped with a rifle and trying to fit in and get close to RFK Jr., who of course has lost two relatives in politics, including his own father. We've been talking about this all year, how the day he officially filed for the race paid perfect tribute to the death of both Kennedys. But again, that story came September 16th, 263 days from the upcoming assassination anniversary of his father, which will be June 5th, 2024. 263 is the 56th prime number. It'll be the 56th anniversary of RFK's assassination in Los Angeles. This comes right before Gavin Newsom's 56th birthday, with rumors that he will replace Biden in the next election. Big rumor right now, as Gavin's about to turn 56, the same governor who was the first to lock down his state over COVID, saying 56% of California will get coronavirus in 8 weeks, which of course is 56 days, which of course coronavirus in Gematria equals 56, like COVID vaccine, like Gavin Newsom, like Anthony Fauci, like how the pandemic was declared 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began at Fordham in 1964, plus the rest of it. So anyhow, this comes on the 263rd day of the year. This thing about Trump being dead. Trump being dead on the 263rd day of the year, 4 days after the assassination scare with RFK, which again was 263 days for the upcoming anniversary. And pause, because I lost my train of thought. There it is. That's what I wanted to say next. The upcoming election. Remember the 5th of November. It's on November 5th, 2024, a date made infamous in the film V for Vendetta, done by the guys who did The Matrix before they became the Sisters. The election is on the day leaving 56 days left in the year. And, rituals continuously happen on that date. The other year it was a big one with Travis Scott with the trampling at his concert, where the stage was a giant upside-down cross. And then that was the anniversary of the Tupac album coming out after his death with him on the cross. And again, the album called Machiavelli, and he died on Caesar Borgia's birthday, who, the real Machiavelli, wrote his book The Prince, again about Caesar Borgia. And then when Tupac's mom died, she died again on the real. Well, her death was announced on the real Machiavelli's birthday, May 3rd, 2016, right after Prince, the musician, died. And I know I'm so redundant, but again, these examples, if people will just look at these things, they'll start to realize, okay, there's definitely something going on here. That's the point. Half the world knows about Tupac and his curious death, still an unsolved mystery to this day. All the more reason to continually remind about it. But also, Donald Trump Jr., he's 45 years old right now. He's 45 years old. Actually, hold on. Before we get to that piece, let me rewind. The election, November 5th, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. That day is 144 days after Trump's birthday. And again, RFK Jr. officially filed to be in the race April 5th, 2023, 144 days after the Superior General's birthday. That's the leader of the Jesuit order. His dad reportedly died at 1:44 in the morning, June 6th, 1968. JFK dead on the 144th day from meeting with the Pope in 1963. Jesuit Order 144. The January 6th simulation, the Transition Integrity Project, where part of that simulation was essentially what happened that day. That was 144 days before the election. President Biden also 144. Also Jesuit educated. If you're new here, the numbers are a language. It's why we're always talking about the same numbers with the Jesuits. 144, 56, 201. 201 is another big number we talk about. Donald Trump Jr. was born on the 201st day of Trump's age. Again, he's 45 right now. His mother just died last summer, supposedly falling down the stairs, 45 years after her marriage to the father. And then she was buried on July 20th, the 201st day of the year. And now she died 60 weeks into the Jesuit Ignatian year, the first one ever when it's the upcoming 60th election. And again, Inauguration Day is 20/1, the 201st day of the nation's age. Plus everything else that we've talked about so many times. So think about why it's his account. Other family members in the Trump family, but it's his account, the son born on the 201st day of his age. And we know how special this number is to the Jesuits. That's why Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope and the first to live at Suite 201 at the Vatican. That's why January 6th came 201 days after the only Confederate statue fell in D.C., that of Albert Pike, who wrote his letter about 3 world wars on the Jesuit order birthday, August 15th, addressed to the second commander of the Illuminati. And remember, the Illuminati, founded just before America, May 1st, 1776, by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, an order of Illuminati equals 201. And he died in history 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. But again, January 6th, 201 days after the only Confederate statue fell, Lincoln, who was assassinated, who blamed the Civil War on the Jesuit order. Again, it was the George Floyd riots that took down the Confederate statue. George Floyd's killing on Memorial Day, which came out of the Civil War. His full name, George Perry Floyd, equaled 201. And his name was celebrated with Adama Traore's name in Europe, and celebrated in a way that people stood up for their civil rights. But the two names together in Paris, France, the original home of the Jesuits, because they were both killed by police in similar fashion, Adama Traore died on the 201st day of the year, and he died 201 weeks on the nose before George Floyd, who, again, just short list, just his own name is 201. His supposed baby mama's name, 201. And that same number over so many of these divisive stories, whether it's racially divisive or sexually divisive. Hello, Caitlyn Jenner, 201. Again, this number is so massive and all important with this cabal that keeps laying down these rituals. And let me see. Let me make sure I got the other important points here. From Trump's birthday, June 14th, which is the U.S. flag's birthday, from his birthday to today, the accidental hoax post of him being dead, exactly 14 weeks. The word dead is 14. Supposedly this was just a random hack hoax today. And you know what? Again, anonymous, right? The hacker gang that leans more liberal, I think. But anyway, the one thing I know for sure is anonymous. They get their symbolism from the Guy Fawkes mask, which again is Jesuit. So, and they're the hackers, right? And then Facebook was started in the huge Jesuit ritual, and Facebook's headquarters address is on Hacker Way. If you didn't know that, look it up. I'll never forget the Ides of March when all my online accounts got hacked, and the first one that went down was Facebook. Funny enough, 84 days. We mentioned that this ritual came 84 days after Musk's birthday. That's also 2016 hours, like the year this goes back to, right, when Trump became president-elect. And again, from Trump's wife's death, July 14th, 2022 to today, 433 days. We're talking about, again, Castro shaking hands with the Pope on this day, then dying 433 days later because it's the 84th prime, the big Jesuit number. Going with just how many days it is from Musk's birthday. Again, Trump, president-elect, the same month Castro dies. Both Jesuit-educated men. Both going down in his storybook. And also, in light of this coming 4 days after the RFK Jr. assassination scare story, and 4 being a number of death, and Trump just getting his 4th indictment in the 4th state, Georgia, in Atlanta, where MLK is from, who was killed on 4/4, the only born American with a holiday named after him. It's interesting that Trump's first post on Twitter in forever, since January 6th pretty much, was his mugshot, the day he surrendered in Atlanta, and the big ritual that was on 24/8, which we covered. The Pluto Day, going with him being a plutocrat, meaning coming from wealth, running on politics from his wealth. But from that day to this news, the accidental death hack, hoax, it was exactly 4 weeks. 4 weeks from his mugshot. Remember, the first president to ever die in office died on 4/4. William Henry Harrison, April 4th, 1841, 1 month into his term. 4, the number connected with death through the Far East. Yeah, there's even more interesting things about Trump and Castro, but another video I got to recommend is for people who've been around from the beginning on TFR. You remember when I first started TFR, a gentleman called in a lot from Massachusetts. He went by the name Zenith. He created a YouTube channel eventually called Zenith of the Alpha. We gave him a lot of encouragement that he should create a YouTube channel. He's done a lot of great work since. He has a really, really interesting video about Donald Trump and today's death hoax and what he's been saying for a long time about the numbers 218 and 424 with regards to Donald Trump. He wonders if this story could escalate April 24th next year, on the 24th of the month and the 24th day of the fourth month, in the year 2024, with this whole thing on X. Remember, X is the 24th letter. Again, they rebranded officially, changing it from Twitter to X on the 24th of July. And then they put up an X, and then there was a petition in San Francisco by 24 people to have the X taken down. And next year you have that second great eclipse over the entire U.S., and it's going to make it X the pattern with the last one that happened in 2017. But, his April 24th date to look out for. It's interesting for a lot of reasons. Follow this pattern. April 24th will be a span of 218 days from today. Today's the day of it's posted that there's this death, right? And we'll get to why 218 matters again in case you don't know. But from Trump's last birthday to his reinstatement on Twitter at the beginning of this year, January 18th, 2023, that was 218 days after Trump's last birthday. And then from Trump's reinstatement to his first post, which was the mugshot, was 218 days later. And again, if you guys have been listening to TFR since 2016, Zenith would call back then, and he was always calling to tell us more about 218. He said he knew something was going on with 218. And then lo and behold, since then, there's been 1,000 more examples. Years back, I think it was 2018, maybe 2019. It was one of those 2 years. Trump had the alert sent out at 2:18 sharp. It was the first ever of its kind, a presidential alert. Oh shoot, we got a commercial. We'll be right back, you guys. Sit tight. No.
Accuracy is very important. Here's why. It builds credibility. Credibility starts to weaken if you mess with the facts, the truth, the correct numbers. Now, everybody will give you room for what we call an unintentional error in dealing in facts. Now, see, if my watch says about 7:28, but if you were to ask me what time is it, and I was to say it's 7:30, you would allow me to be a couple of minutes off, right? If I said it was 7:30, but accurately, really, truthfully, it was 7:28, you would give me that error to just quickly say 7:30, right? You would say, you didn't mean to mess up my life, right? By leading me astray with this erroneous information that it was 7:30 when really it was only 7:28. Now, there are times and occasions when you may have to be precise, and it may be a life and death matter, who knows?
From the dawn of man, we have turned to nature to help attain balance within ourselves. But somewhere, we lost our way. Western culture is once again remembering the healing benefits of CBD, the non-psychoactive component of the hemp plant. That's why more and more people who use CBD report relief from inflammation and chronic pain, balanced blood sugar and cardiovascular system, relief from muscle tensions, tremors, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. The big question is, where do you get it? iLife is a 99% pure CBD oil made with all organic ingredients, and it's available to TFR listeners worldwide. If you use coupon code TFR at checkout, you'll get $5 towards your order. Head on over to iLife.com now. That's AYA life.com.
Revealed. Kataria history. Darcy, light workers, and indigos. Join me on the Nikki Colombo show. It's time to reclaim our true history, our true timelines, our cosmic heritage. And remember to be humble, for you are made on earth. To be noble, for you are made
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency.
Is Truth Frequency Radio.
Okay, I think we're back, True Seeker. Again, the sound's not working very well. I might be talking over the ads or the music right now, but it's not coming through on my end, so it makes it difficult. Anyhow, we were talking again about 218. Zenith of the Alpha. Check out his YouTube channel. Zenith of the Alpha has a great video on today's death hoax and why April 24th is important to look out for. It's based on a lot of years of research. And again, it just so happens to be 218 days from today to April 24th. Again, Trump reinstated on Twitter 218 days after his birthday. And again, from his reinstatement to his first post, the mugshot, 218 days later, that presidential alert, a big pattern here with 218. And just for other patterns, Trump in 88, we're always talking about Trump in 88. The Mar-a-Lago raid on 88, so many other things. His phone number that's up there all the time, 880022. Today is 88 days before the Pope's upcoming birthday. And when he has his birthday, he'll turn 87, which will begin his 88th year of life. Again, when you're born, you begin your first year of life. When you turn 1, you begin your second. So when you hit the number, you begin the next yeareth of life. But it's 88 days before the Pope's birthday. Again, the Jesuits served the Pope. We're on a calendar named after the Pope. That's what we're always talking about. The Jesuits, the 16th century, the calendar, the standardization of English, how this whole system synced up. It's, in light of it being 88 days before Trump's upcoming birthday, or not Trump's, but the Pope's, it's also 277 days after the Pope's last birthday, which is the 59th prime number. Remember, that's a big number with the Pope. Pope Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for Francis. The 59th presidential election, Biden was elected number 46, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. JFK, the only other Catholic president dead at age 46, and Gematria Catholic equals 46. Pope Francis equals 59. So does John F. Kennedy. Again, there's been lots of little things pointing back to what happened to JFK. We talked all day about the assassination foreshadowing they've been laying down. Biden had the assassination scare with the FBI arrest on August 9th, the day leaving 144 days left in the year. Then later that day, Ecuador, established 46 years after America. There was the big assassination of the man who was 63 years old, 63 days from his birthday. And again, that was the day leaving 144 days left in the year. And Ecuador was established on May 24th, the 144th day of the year. Big Jesuit number. Jesuits, Illuminati, New World Order, calendar, language, rituals. The system synced up as they grow their power and influence by the same code all over the place. Now, here's the other thing about this coming on Twitter by the numbers with the whole Holy Roman Empire thing. In Gematria, the big way, Holy Roman Empire is 218. They say it folded on the 218th day of 1806. That was August 6th, 1806. They say the Holy Roman Empire folded. So again, 218th day of the year, like in Gematria, Holy Roman Empire is 218. In something known as Francis Bacon Gematria, the name Trump is 218. This is what Zenith of the Alpha has been calling in about since 2016. And all of his examples that have happened since. So that's why, like, if once upon a time you were listening, you're like, oh God, this guy has some new Gematria cipher, how dumb. Well, if that was your opinion in 2016, you've got to watch all this 218 stuff happen ever since that we've been documenting it, and now it's looking like the biggest thing ever. And the other things we've been pointing out since about 2016 is the assassination scare of Trump on November 5th. You guys remember that? It was November 5th. 2016, assassination scare for Trump in Nevada. Notice that's going to be 8 years before the election date. Mr. 88 himself, Trump. If you do it the small way, Holy Roman Empire is 88 like Trump. Again, 88 days from the Pope's upcoming birthday. Trump's a big star. The Catholic Church is a big sun cult. And they've synced up the calendar with the zodiac. And it's 88 constellations. Again, there's a reason for these numbers. There's 88 official constellations. Stars, world stage, rituals, old knowledge like numerology and astrology, things that people think are stupid but are in practice in the highest of places. Now again, if you run the alphabetic order the other way and use numerology, Holy Roman Empire equals 74. All of these words also equal 74. Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, parables, killing, stabbing, Twitter, and to rewind that list, two of those words, Twitter and cross, both 74, like killing. Is an X the new rebranding of Twitter, not a cross? Isn't it interesting how, in a way, it still preserves the 74 if you just look at the X as the cross? And remember, in Sumerian gematria, X is the 24th letter. All Sumerian gematria is multiplying the alphabetic order times 6. 24 times 6 is 144. Both numbers that have a lot to do with time. The cross was used by the pagans to symbolize time, the 4 seasons. And again, just in light of Trump, with his recent 4th indictment in the 4th state, Georgia, where MLK's from, who was killed in an election year, the same year RFK was in 68. The year Donald Trump turned 22. This man built into a massive star, maybe only to be torn down like the World Trade Centers. A spectacle to divide the masses yet again. They can do it with a building or set of buildings. They can do it with a man. They can do it with all kinds of things because they got this technology, these devices in our homes where they can just broadcast everything we want to, everything they want us to think about and emotionally charge it the way they do and get people to divide among the lines that they also do. But yeah, just the whole 4-4 thing. Again, 74, 44, 74, these numbers we're talking about. The Ides of March, to remember the killing of Caesar, right? Political office, the leader of the land. Killing of Caesar in 44 BC. MLK, again, killed on 4-4. William Henry Harrison, first president office, 4-4. Malcolm X, killed on a 44 date numerology. JFK was number 35, but the 44th term president. Abraham Lincoln's assassination, big 44 ritual. Big number, 44. It's a caliber of gun. You don't want to get shot with a 44. But the Ides of March, to remember the killing of Caesar in 44 BC, it's on March 15th, the 74th day of the year. Both stabbing and killing 74. Again, like cross, the symbol of what the Romans crucified people with, including Jesus, right? Holy Roman Empire, again, has the 74, as does Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, small way, 74. Jesus, big way, 74. Big number. Big rituals. 3 of the first 5 U.S. presidents dead on 7-4. What are the odds? Jefferson and Adams dead on the same day in 1826, the nation's birthday, 7-4. And then, lo and behold, when the country was being formed, they had written letters expressing their concern about the Jesuit suppression ending and what might happen to America if the Jesuits were unleashed. All these people we're talking about constantly just all happen to have a Jesuit education. Just happen to be tying in with these perfect rituals on this Roman Catholic calendar. Again, the only reason we say it's the year 2023 is because the Roman Catholic Church said so. The reason English is the way with the spellings, some of them seeming nonsensical, the 26-letter alphabet. This is all from the same time period. All of these things happening at the same time. Again, Martin Luther, Protestant Reformation, 95 Theses, from its pinning to the formation of the Jesuits 201 months later. MLK, who assumed the name Martin Luther, killed on the 95th day of the year in 1968, that infamous year. 201 days later, the nation's first major gun control legislation, infringing on the Second Amendment, but still standing to this day as many more infringements have piled on. I wonder why Jefferson and Adams were worried about what would happen if the Jesuits came back. Next thing you know, the nation's capital's in the Jesuit stronghold, Washington, D.C. But yeah, if you missed the RFK Jr. assassination work I mentioned, the assassination scare, the guy who snuck into his protective service 263 days before his father's upcoming assassination anniversary on the 5th day of the 6th month, 263, the 56th prime, again, 56th anniversary upcoming. They said it was a 44-year-old man, on 35,000 bail, like JFK number 35, like how Catholics 35 forwards, 46 in reverse, again killed at age 46. The man's name was Adrian Paul Aspuro, which equals 263. Going with the 263 days of the 56 prime. Remember how they just took down my YouTube channel 263 days after September 11th? The same YouTube channel where we documented traveling across the nation, city to city, and gathering truth seekers to speak out about 9/11 and other things going on in the world. George Floyd, COVID. 263 days after we arrived in New York for the 9/11 day, they just delete the whole channel. Didn't even have 3 strikes. Just deleted. The jokes are right here on YouTube. Same patterns. We've been talking about the same stuff a million times. If you read my last book, Number Games, 9/11 to Coronavirus, if you have the digital version, just do a search for 263 and see how many times throughout that book we're nailing all the 263, 56 stuff with the big coronavirus pandemic. Again, coronavirus is another big 56 thing. But yeah, if you missed my work on RFK Jr., there's a lot more to look into with it. You know, there's a lot more very interesting numbers on that ritual. And again, RFK Jr. might talk a good game, except for he supports Ukraine. But other than that, I think most people in this community would agree with most things he says. But at the same time, it's like, is he here just to provide hope for the hopeless? Again, it's very much how it looks. His anti-mandate gathering on Georgetown's birthday, his big Jesuit official entry into the race 144 days after the Superior General's birthday. I mean, the leader of the Jesuits, and then giving his first campaign speech on the day in history that Ignatius of Loyola became the first Superior General of the Jesuit order. The fateful day in history. And then just participating in stuff like this, and this in Los Angeles, where his father was killed, and what we've been saying for years, him and his father clearly killed in these Jesuit rituals. I mean, the first book on this topic came out in 2017. So, I mean, these aren't new things that we're talking about. Hunter Biden today. Hunter Biden ordered to appear in court September 26th for his 3 federal gun charges. Remember, 263rd day of the year, the 56th prime, and then the strong relationship with 3 and 56. And helpful knowledge, we felt the Super Bowl would be a 3-point game, Super Bowl 56. And we thought Odell Beckham, number 3, would score the first touchdown. The man born on the day, leaving 56 days left in the year, who was traded in the Rams that year that they won Super Bowl 56. But the relationship with 3 and 56 is this. Genesis 1:3, the 3rd verse of the Bible, God makes light. In Gematria, the word 3 equals 56, light equals 56, Abrahamic equals 56, the 3 Abrahamic religions based in Genesis. Based in the first 5 books of Moses or the Torah as well, but it begins with Genesis. So 263 related to 56, 3 related to 56, the 3 federal gun charges ordered to appear in court today on this day. And again, Hunter and JFK was killed in the time of the Archer. And it remains to be seen everything that's going to happen in the upcoming election cycle as they try to get people even more polarized and more divided and more angsty and more willing to give up their rights and liberties and just more fear and just more everything that we don't need that these psychopaths unleash on us through their media and their government and all the authority positions they have over us. Again, for everyone who watches my channel goes, I don't get the point of this work. It's to show you how corrupt the authority is and what's controlling the authority. And I'm always amazed at the people who don't see the point of what I'm trying to show and communicate. Should be apparent. We're being played for fools by a code, by a cabal, where all of this comes from Kabbalah. But RFK Jr., he's hinted that it could be him because they won't give him a Secret Service detail. And let's not forget that the Secret Service was created the same day that Lincoln was assassinated. April 14th. 144144. Again, Lincoln who blamed the Jesuits for the Civil War. But RFK Jr., I mean, there's been a lot of Kennedys who've died, but there's only been 2 who died in relation to assassination in political office. Could that be a story? Again, I see the pieces of the puzzle, but you still got to put it together just right. And again, Hunter Biden. Hunter. JFK was killed in the time of Sagittarius, which, by the way, equals 144 in Gematria. Sagittarius is the archer or the hunter. Joe Biden has the same birthday as RFK. They're both born November 20th. What are the odds? Joe Biden has the Gematria 44, who was VP to number 44. Barack Obama, whose name equals 68, like MLK killed on 4-4 and 68. Like all these little tributes to history all along the way in the building narrative of where we're being taken to. For other familiar number patterns, just more, another drop in the bucket for the divide, the political divide. Former Trump aide about to release a book, Cassidy Hutchinson, just days from her new book release, alleges that Rudy Giuliani groped her on January 6th. And what I noticed about her is, remember, Giuliani turned himself in Atlanta the day before Trump did, and Trump turned himself in on 24/8 in this massive 248 ritual. Super layered, going all the way back to 2016, which we covered then. And in Gematria, President Donald Trump's 248. And next year, the election, the U.S. will be 248 years old. So, again, just the point is, the numbers, the rituals, the characters on the stage, the storylines that are leading up through a period of time. Where will this one eventually lead to with Cassidy Hutchinson and her book deal, and maybe someone who's coming up more on the political theater world? We'll see her more as a guest on, will it be Fox or CNN or both or Breitbart or wherever? It's just, you just notice as these characters come on, being aware of this knowledge, you see like, oh, there's the same number again. Okay, they're really coding that a lot right now. They're really foreshadowing something big's coming next year when, again, not only does the U.S. turn 248 years old next year, the Illuminati turns 248. May 1st, 1776 for the Illuminati, July 4th, 1776 for the U.S. Again, the birthdays. Next year, 2024, it's 248 years later. Again, Trump on 24/8, the first Twitter post, and the 218 ritual. Astrology being a part of this. Pluto, which went from the 9th planet to the 8th, got demoted on that day in history, 24/8. So, this woman's 27 years old right now. The ritual number, like Trump called the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, which, if I forgot to mention so earlier, Berlin Wall in Gematria equals 45, going with Trump being number 45. The word ritual equals 27 forwards, 45 when you run it in reverse. Okay. Now, what's funny is I was looking at this post today from Donald Trump Jr. saying his father died and he was going to run, and then they came out and said it was a hoax and a hacker did it on X. But then I saw this story about the Adidas CEO today. This also broke today. Kanye West didn't mean anti-Semitic remarks, says Adidas CEO. Again, he's defending Kanye on this day. And I wouldn't have caught this, but because I was looking at the parallel with Castro shaking hands with the Pope on this day and the death pattern with him and his son and how it fits in exactly with the hoax today and the death of Trump's wife, again, these distance of 433 days, this specific number to the Jesuits, I just noticed that when the Pope was shaking Castro's hand on September 20th, 8 years ago, he was wearing Adidas. I thought, is that a coincidence, or is there something more here? Adidas, the history is they have a lot to do with the Nazis if you look into their history. And again, they were calling Adolf or not Adolf, but Kanye, like a Nazi. They're calling him all kinds of things, neo-Nazi, or all the things they were saying earlier this year. He sounded like a Nazi, just the things he was saying. So I'm going, okay, that's interesting. And then, you know what just happened? We just had Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. It just passed. And during Rosh Hashanah, the New York Times, which is led by a Jesuit, the New York Times put out a story that all this time, there's proof at the Vatican that the Pope knew about the Holocaust from the beginning, because the Catholic Church has been saying for all these years that they really didn't have a clear picture of what was going on. But the New York Times released the story that on December 14th, 1942, Pope Pius XII, he's the same one that was alive when the CIA was established on September 18th, 47, his 201st day of his age. Remember, the CIA's got the big 201 connection. And a lot of people have always joked that CIA really means Catholics in action. Well, you learn this gematria knowledge and you look into the history of D.C., the land of the Roman architecture, once called Rome on the Potomac, you start to realize that that's more than a joke about the Catholics in action. It's obvious that, yeah, that's partly true. And anyway, Pope Pius XII, December 14th, 1942, about 5 years before the creation of the CIA, that he was given this letter by a Jesuit priest, Father Lothar Koenig, alerting him about the Holocaust taking place. So here's a letter written right to the Pope that's still stored in the archives of the Vatican. And again, just the timing of it, right? To release this news during the Jewish New Year, right? And it kind of reminds me of like when Christmas comes around, how it seems like a lot of times the media will have like extra sour focus, just things that might impact you all the more emotionally, psychologically, just in a negative way. Like, really, that has to be the news right now? Same thing for Jewish people, right? I mean, how pleasant is it to be celebrating the Jewish New Year and then you're reminded of the Holocaust? Oh, the Vatican just dusted off the shelves and realized that all the time they did know. So maybe they weren't ignorant. But again, it's also a letter from a Jesuit priest, right? The Jesuits have the intel. And here's your homework assignment tonight. What man once said the Jesuits are the greatest intelligence network in the history of the world? And again, they're the 201 order, and the CIA was established on the 201st day of the Pope's age. I mean, just think about it. So, yeah, the letter's from the year 42. Of course, Jesuit has that gematria 42 like World War. And the letter was dated December 14th, infamous day in history, the day George Washington died unexpectedly. And December 14th in gematria, the words when written out December 14th have the same gematria as Society of Jesus. And Society of Jesus equals Washington, D.C. And December 14th equals Washington, D.C. And December 14th equals George Washington. And the first Jesuit University, Georgetown, was established in 1789, right before George Washington became president. Same year, 1789. December 14th also equals Father Robert Lebert, and he is also a part of this story of this letter if you want to read about it. So the day the story was published, September 16th, that was the 259th day of the year, Roman Catholicism, 259. The article the New York Times wrote about this, the first picture they have of Pope Pius XII, they chose it from 47. Go figure. Go figure. Also, if you want to become part of Elon Musk's experimental AI brain Neuralink experiment, trial signups have begun. You want to be a cyborg? Now is your opportunity. And again, we said expect really big things from Elon Musk when he turns 52. We said this years ago. And he's 52 right now. Why did we say when he's 52? Because technology equals 52, like Terminator equals 52, that movie that came out in 84 about technology overtaking man. Lots of rituals with technology in 52. If you've read my book, Number Games, we explained why in 2020 you had the government and big tech partnering up to form surveillance over the populace to see if they were complying with curfews and COVID rules in the time of the lockdowns. You know, it was done under that guise. And the big tech companies said that you did have an option to opt out if you wanted to figure out how to do that. Most of them didn't even know, right? Because most of those turn on their phone and they can't use it, and they need to update to use it, so they just update, and then it happens, and they're not following the news, so they don't know that they're now with the new update, part of the new surveillance program. But the media can say, or they can come out and say, yeah, we alerted in the media how you could opt out if you wanted to follow the directions. I mean, most people just aren't paying attention. It's obvious how this stuff works. It wasn't like by default you weren't in it and you had to opt in. And also, you guys, Ripple, XRP, again, the cryptocurrency that has, a lot of big names on its board, that's been going through a lot of rituals. Shout out to Big Ali, tipped me off today that they are going to be having a party to celebrate their big ruling that they got earlier this year on July 13th. And the party's on September 29th. And interesting date is 9/29. Remember, in the Old Testament, there's 929 chapters. And in Jewish gematria, United States of America equals 929. And it's also the day leaving 93 days left in the year, and Saturn and 93 have that strong connection through gematria. And Aleister Crowley taught about this. And Old Testament and astrotheology, Saturn is God. And anyhow, just keep an eye on XRP and what it does in the aftermath of this party, where things are going. Remember, it was the 201st day of the year, July 20th, that the FedNow system launched. This idea of a digital currency, it's been around for a long time. A currency that's more than America. But we'll be right back, Truth Seeker. Going right into the commercials tonight. Long-winded.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, a song is right.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes. You can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio. Just download the app to your smartphone or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are. Radio.
See you there.
So, you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes app.
And by the way,
Mr. President, your campaign agreed to both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
Look,
Here's the deal.
tremendous sprouts, and Joe does the circles and has 3 people.
Here's the deal.
He's been totally irresponsible. Yes, he's a fool.
Here's the deal.
President Trump did a phenomenal job. Would you shut up, man? Look,
Here's the deal.
I don't trust him at all. What do you? I know you don't. Let me shut you down for a second, Judge. He wants to shut down the country. Let me shut you down for a second, Judge. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Judge.
Do I get my time back? You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis. He does not have a plan. I know how to do the job. It's the same process.
There has never been an administration that's done what I've done. That are shut down.
President Trump, you have begun.
Look,
Here's the deal.
hard to get anywhere with this country. This is the way it is. Look,
Here's the deal.
President Trump did a phenomenal job.
Here's the deal.
Everybody knows he's a liar. Fake news. They give me pen press. Look,
Here's the deal.
I don't trust him at all. What do you? I know you don't.
The second subject is
200,000 dead. If we just wear a mask, we can save half those numbers. We got the gowns. We got the masks. We made the ventilators. You don't know how many people died in China. We don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. Maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. Let's see, a lot more going to die unless he gets a lot smarter. Did you use the word smart? Don't ever use the word smart with me. Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you.
Here's the deal.
Tremendous sprouts, and Joe does the circles and has 3 people.
Here's the deal.
He's been totally irresponsible. Yes, he's a fool.
Here's the deal.
President Trump did a phenomenal job.
This is Truth Frequency Radio. The wicked one, obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
Ouch. Don't watch. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
Okay, again, the sound's off, so I'm hoping the ad is actually over. We're going to be getting to calls here pretty soon, but before we do that, thank you to Natural Law in the Occult who made a $20 donation. And not only do they make a donation, they're going to donate their time. If you are in the Jacksonville, Florida area, they are going to be out at the football game, the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars, this week, October 1st. Educating about the rigging of the league and Gematria. And I don't know if they're aware of this or not, but this past weekend in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars picked up their 112th home loss as a franchise. That's interesting because they lost to the Chiefs. And of course, in Gematria, Chiefs equals 112. We've talked about this number pattern with the Chiefs for a long time. If you go back and look at the box score for that Chiefs-Jaguars game, you'll see that it was Patrick Mahomes' birthday. It was also the NFL's birthday. The NFL founded in Canton, Ohio, September 17th, 1920. And it's also the Constitution's birthday. It goes with the NFL being established 133 years after the Constitution, where both football and government equal 133. But anyway, the Jaguars just picked up their 112th home loss. Chiefs and Jaguars both have Gematria of 112, and the city that equals 112 is Houston. And now they'll be hosting division rival Houston while on 112 home franchise losses. And this gentleman's going to be out there educating again about Gematria and hopefully gathering truth seekers and trying to get people to care about what's going on and to see through the theater of pro sports, which, yes, are scripted. It's why these rituals are perfect day after day, week after week. And, yeah, awesome. Thank you, Natural Law in the Occult. If you know what corner you're going to be on, if you want to send me an email, if you have a little bit more information, I'll look for that email, GematriaEffectNews@gmail.com. If you know what times and like what corner of the stadium you're going to be at, might be helpful to get that information out there for more people who want to gather. But yo, if you're in Jacksonville, go find them around the stadium. It can be done. A lap can be walked around the stadium if need be. I really would love to see more and more people doing this at sports events. Evan was doing it this past weekend at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Of course, we were at the Seahawks Stadium for the opening week, telling them before the game why Matt Stafford was likely going to get his 94th win and sink the Seahawks fans' day, which is exactly what happened in the land of 94 Seattle, which won its only Super Bowl in the 94th NFL season. Again, right before star quarterback Russell Wilson lost his grandfather at 94, a number that goes way beyond the NFL and goes right into the coronavirus pandemic, which equals 94 like Seattle, Washington. Again, it came a decade after Bill Gates' decade of vaccine speech on his 94th day of his age in Davos, Switzerland, which is another 94 land. But anyway, yeah, I'm really happy to hear this, and it's encouraging to see that in back-to-back weekends, actually it's going to be 3 weeks in a row in the NFL, that somebody's at a stadium teaching about gematria. We did it week 1. Evan did it week 2. Natural Law and the Occult is doing it week 3. Week 4, people. Let's see if we can keep the streak alive all season. At least one gematria speaker, educator at a stadium for every week of the NFL year. I mean, it'd be awesome if this became a trend and people really did start showing up in big numbers, passing out flyers, dropping examples, talking to fans about the way they script the outcomes. Sometimes you can have a number as good as 94 in Seattle and have a lot of confidence that is going to be the outcome and tell the fans about it before the game without fear of humiliating yourself. And yeah, awesome. So thank you for doing that, Natural Law and the Occult. The game is this Sunday, September 24th at the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium in Florida. And yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so with that said, let's open up the phone lines and take some calls. We haven't done that yet this evening. Here's Austin, who was out there in Seattle with me to lead us off. Nice. What's up, Austin?
Yo, Zach?
Yeah, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I don't think you can hear me.
Now I can. You cut out there. I can hear you, Austin.
Anyways, I'll keep going. I can't hear through my phone. Yeah, the next 2 Sundays, I was planning. I got a megaphone back on last Sunday, just a few days ago. I was planning on going up to Pike's Place possibly the next 2 Sundays if possible, depending on rain and stuff. And I figure now's the time because the censorship and stuff is just, out of control. You're down to just, 3 channels, and, who knows if you're even going to have a channel 6 months from now, or, who knows? I mean, there's not much time to get the word out with the way things are going. And yeah, basically just next year, it's just going to be, people's priorities and health and rights and liberties and stuff is going to have to be the way people, what people prioritize. People just keep getting out, pounding pavement, inspiring people. I want to keep getting out. Like I said, next year from like April to October, probably going out there at least once a week. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'm able to inspire people, and hopefully more people can, get megaphones and, inspire some younger people. Hopefully some more women can start speaking out and getting on the mic. Yeah, it's just going to have to be priorities next year. And, people are just going to have to keep stepping up and coming out and speaking out, because you can't really get the word out much on the internet with the way things are going. Like I said, you're down to just, 22, 25 in sports, and who knows how long they're going to be up at this point. But yeah, it's pretty much all I have. Yeah, I can't even hear you through the phone. I can't hear anything.
Well, it's okay, Evan.
That's all I have it's for tonight, Zach.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you. You have a good night, Evan. All right, so or Austin, excuse me. I'm confusing with Evan because Evan's also out pounding pavement. But Austin's been out with me in Seattle, and I'm glad that he wants to start speaking out more, and he'll continue to get better at it as he goes. Let's go out to 832 Houston. (832)
Hello?
Hello, you're on.
Yeah, I can't hear. Something's going on.
Huh. He couldn't hear me either. Now he can't hear me. Wow, how could that be? Here, let me try somebody else. Why can nobody hear me? 346? 346? Weird. That is weird. Yeah, nobody can hear me tonight. Why is that? Let's try one more just in case. 347? 347?
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you. Yeah, you can't hear me
I saw
though.
this article on ABC on Sunday about Libya and the flood, and they said 9,000 missing, 11,000 dead. So I don't know if you heard me or not, because I can't hear you. So I just wanted to say that if you heard me.
Okay, we definitely heard him. And since he just brought that up about 9,000 missing, 11,000 dead, if you guys missed this, again, they said 2 dams broke on September 11th, causing this massive, deadly flood. 2 dams broke on 9/11, like 2 towers on 9/11. But what makes it worse is the names of the dams that broke are Derna Dam, which equals 156. 911 is the 156th prime number. And Mansour Dam. And Mansour Dam equals 119. The other way to write the date, September 11th, 11/9, like 119. Those just happen to be the names of the 2 dams that broke on 9/11. And they're saying it's because they haven't been properly maintained since Gaddafi was thrown out of power. But yeah, what a joke. So let me just see if I do a web search if those numbers pull up easy. 9,000, 11,000. ABC News, Libya flooding deaths top 11,000 as thousands reported missing. Let me see if that article is also going with the 9,000. Yeah, 9,000 people are still missing. So yeah, this reporting was out of London. 11,000 dead, 9,000 missing. What a joke. I mean, what a sick joke, too. Doesn't it inspire people enough to want to get out and do something about it? So, I don't know why nobody can hear me tonight. I assume those people can hear me right now while I'm talking, but for some reason when I go to the call board, they can't. I don't get how that can even be working. You know, let me try one more guy and just if it works. Man, everything is connected. I don't know what the problem be. That person who's not supposed to be on the line is on the line again. I don't know if they're having some kind of impact. All right, try one more person, and if not, we'll go to a backup plan. I got a backup plan if nobody can hear me tonight. 206? 206, can you hear me?
Yo.
Yo.
I don't think anybody can hear you, man. You can hear me, but I can't hear you. There's been nothing on the phone, so that's what's going on. Nobody can hear you. You're being muted.
I don't know how. I don't know why it's not working.
I'm going to hang up now.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Huh. Yeah, all the settings are good over here. The lights are green. The connections are good. There's just one person on it's been going on for like a month now. The person who keeps logging in on the phone, who's not supposed to be on there. I don't know who it is. And Chris Geo still has not responded. Okay, here's what I'm going to do since nobody can hear me on the phone. We're gonna actually just take the time to watch Woo's News video. We might have to mute some parts because he's got music. We don't want to get copyrighted, but I think it's a worthy use of our time. This video is so well done on January 6th, and let me get it set up here. Okay. Sorry to the people on the phone tonight. I don't know what that's about. Hopefully that's resolved by next week. Okay, but Woo's News, January 6th.
And go get your wine.
The January 6th event serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of manufactured outrage and takes an unexpected twist as a web of conspiracy emerges. In Act 1, we applied the Homeland Security and Evaluation Program, illustrating the pivotal roles of stage directions, crisis actors, and fake blood, and challenges our audience to question the boundaries between truth and fiction.
Now we're, for people who are simply listening on TFR, understand a lot of this is visual, so this is not going to make for the best radio, but you will be able to pick up stuff just by listening, and I'll pause along the way and point out some things to also fill in. But if you want to join us where you can actually get the visual as well, we are streaming on YouTube on GematriaEffectNews 25. Also GematriaEffectNews 22 or Gematria Sports, the 3 remaining channels. I'm using them while I still can because I have a feeling a lot more channels are going down since they've deleted 2 channels in recent times, both without even getting strikes, just taking down the whole channels at once for unexplained reasons other than vague statements such as you violated the terms of service, which I guess is teaching about Gematria. But yeah, right now it's showing the staged, just a real quick clip, they get into it more later, a real quick clip of the staged Ashley Babbitt killing scene, supposedly on January 6th. Remember how Ashley was spelled a really bizarre way, Ashlii, and the spelling of the name had that encoded 84, that big Jesuit number, and she was killed beneath the sign over the doors, and the Gematria, that sign was 201, going with the whole day, coming 201 days after the Confederate statue going down, and 201 being the big Jesuit number, and the Jesuits behind, obviously, January 6th, but what we know about the Civil War as well, giving us his story. But yeah, if you want to join us on YouTube, you can also get the visual. I would encourage you to do that. Or if you, you want to leave us early tonight, maybe just watch it yourself, that is perfectly fine. We're having technical difficulties tonight. We're doing our best. But Woo's News, it's on BitChute, WOOZ space news, WOOZ, Woo's News. Here it is.
Here in Act 2, our 2.5-year investigation unravels a chilling truth. The January 6th Capitol breach was no spontaneous event, but a meticulously orchestrated symphony of chaos and manipulation. And yes, it's likely you may be triggered by some of the information we are to share with you, but come on, put on your big boy / girl / non-binary pants on and see it through. In this episode, we're gonna journey through the January 6th timeline of events in 889 angles, and identify all props, characters, mistakes, and bad acting, with additional commentary from all sides. So let's begin our journey by setting up the stage. On December 21st, 2020, Aria Kovler, a political consultant with a background in government relations, tweets, "On January 6th, armed Trumpist militias will be rallying in D.C. at Trump's orders. It's highly likely that they'll try to storm the Capitol after it certifies Joe Biden's win. I don't think that this is sunk in yet." Which brings us to a town hall meeting held 2 days prior to the riots on January 4th, with Mayor Muriel Bowser, and Chief Conti, who, side note, replaced Chief Peter Newsham just 2 days earlier. You know, the same Chief Newsham whose first assignment back in 2016 was to investigate Edgar Madison Welch for firing shots at James Alefantis' Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria. Photographed by Jose Luis Magallan. Let's learn a new word. Kayfabe. Kayfabe is the portrayal of staged events as real or true. Everything in entertainment wrestling is to some extent scripted, or kayfabe, even though at times it is portrayed as real life. A wrestler breaking kayfabe during a show would be likened to an actor breaking character on camera. Keep this in the back of your mind as we travel through this timeline. Like any good story, we need to understand the mainstream narrative, and we picked the most middle-line mainstream media news source, PBS. Written on January 5th, states, "Hundreds of supporters of President Trump descended on the nation's capital to cheer his baseless claims of election fraud a day before congressional vote to affirm Joe Biden's victory." He warned that Antifa, the umbrella term for leftist militant groups, should stay out of Washington. Mayor Muriel Bowser called in National Guard troops to help bolster the city's police force. She urged residents to stay away from downtown Washington and to avoid confrontations with anyone who is looking for a fight. On Monday, police arrested the leader of Proud Boys, Henry Tarrio, for burning a a BLM flag in public. The following day, a judge signs an order banning Tarrio from entering D.C. How convenient. An afternoon march was also planned to the U.S. Capitol, where Congress will be voting to affirm the election results. Despite pressure from President Trump to help overturn his election loss, Vice President Pence will stick to his ceremonial duties and not block Wednesday's certification, citing, "I have no right to overturn the election."
He's a great guy. Of course, if he doesn't come through, I won't like him quite as much.
And lastly, Black Lives Matter Plaza was sealed off Tuesday, and we'll see why. Keep in mind that most of the events on January 6th will literally play out on a stage, which has just been completed for the inauguration. Now that we've reviewed the backstory, let's identify some of our photographers. Julio Cortez, Victor Blue, Igor Bobik, Sabrina Tavernes, Aaron Schaff, Samuel Coram, White House press photographer Andrew Hardick, White House staff photographer Sal Loeb, Wynn McNamee, J. Scott Applewhite, Drew Angerer, John Minkelo, Manuel Sinetta, Amy Harris, Jose Luis Magana, Joseph Prezioso, John Cherry, Sandy Backham, citizen journalist Brendan Gutenschwager, town hall reporter Julio Rosas, Luke Mogelson, Typhoon Josh Good, John Farina, News to Share's Ford Fisher, Young Kim, Blaze TV's Elijah Schaefer, Michael Negro, The Washington Examiner's Stephen Nelson, John Sullivan, Chris Jones, Taylor Hanson, Cameraman Sam of InfoWars, just another Brandon of InfoWars, and chief photographer of SWNS, Adam Gray. And while we're on the subject, I would like to take this moment to retract the claim that he was fake arrested on January 6th, when in fact it was in New York, June 1st, 2020, during the George Floyd riots. Now, let's start our journey again, here on the Ellipse and the Washington Monument. Now, mainstream media reports there are 36,000 present at this DC rally. We'll just have to take their word for it. And the time is currently 10 a.m. Alright, so now all the Proud Boys are all gathered at the Washington Monument.
I am not allowed to say what's going to happen today, because everyone's just going to have to watch.
Now the Proud Boys are leaving the Washington Monument. And look who it is. DC photographer Amy Harris, getting all the pictures. And Sandy's there too. I wonder where they're going. So let's follow them. Photos by Pulitzer Prize winner DC photographer Carolyn Castor. See how they're all single file? This is for the camera. So now they're passing Smithsonian Castle. And look, everyone's just following Amy, setting up all the good shots. So now they're crossing the street here at 4th. Everybody stop, everyone's stationary, and then they get the command to march past the camera and flash as many white power signs as possible. Now they're gonna stop to get some more photos. And you'll notice that this Joe Biggs character, he's one of the fall guys, constantly talking into his walkie-talkie, which we believe is a prop. Yes, it may work. Yes, he might be talking to someone, but that's not the purpose or the essence of it. They want to make it obvious. You don't want to make Americans think too much, so they see the radio and the earpiece, and they got the answer. Think optics. And Ordine's job is to ramble into the megaphone. I mean, they really gilded the lilies with this one. Meanwhile, 7 blocks northwest at the Hamilton Hotel, Jaden deliberately leaves a trail of digital breadcrumbs, uploading this post as he heads out towards the Washington Monument. Now, let's head to the east side of the Capitol for a little sermon shoot, photographed by CBS News, HuffPost, and Newsweek journalist Mike Thieler. And now they're bringing out the ridiculous cross prop, which we'll see later, being crowd served. What is happening?
Yeah, can we get everyone in there for a little Christ cuddle?
Oh, he's got the rosary. A photographer of the year / Getty Images chief photographer, Wynn McNamee, not looking obvious at all. Photographed by The Hill's Stephanie Reynolds. You know how to push the narrative that all Republicans are crazy Bible thumpers? Moving on. So it's 11 o'clock and Trump, will delay his speech by an hour. Wonder why. So now the Proud Boys are heading east on Maryland Avenue Southwest towards the Garfield Monument. Hey, Key Swine. At the same time on 1st Street Southwest, Angel Walsh of Underground News Syndicate and her husband, Patrick of Newstime Live, begin live streaming on their way towards the Washington Monument when they intersect the Proud Boys. And like Jade Sacker, Angel and Patrick are unaware that they're surrounded by a bunch of paid protesters. And sorry about the quality. And this time code that we've added begins at 11:16. Luckily, this rare gem revealed some interesting clues and helped piece together the timeline of this little pilgrimage where they stopped to take the knee for a little K prayer while the media creates a perimeter around them. Get those pics? Oh, hey cops. What the hell are those? Now the PBs resume their journey as our photogs find a new angle. An angel wash in the middle of it all, just sticking out like a sore thumb. Who's getting all these good shots? Simple. The English U.S. correspondent for Newsnight, David Grossman, and British filmmaker Nick Quested, who was one of our stars during the June 2022 Capitol hearings, is there too.
You haven't noticed, real men are here.
No, I hadn't noticed that, Ethan. But let's watch that again. On Angel's angle.
Real men are here.
Get that vid, Grossman. Guys, notice how they're a bit lax. No one's quite in their character yet, but they don't really need to be, because the show hasn't started, and all of this footage will be used as the backstory. You know, the moments leading up to the insurrection. So now they're heading north on 1st Street Northwest, towards the Peace Monument. Now here they're about to pass the west side of the Capitol entrance, or Obstacle 1. Don't worry, they'll be back in an hour, and they're just following all the photographers, just getting all the shots. Remember this cop for Act 3. We'll call Dilly.
Press, separate yourselves from our crew.
And they do, but not Angel, who's now being eyed by Nordine. Now they all get into character. Just as they approach the peace camp, right on time. And Nordine's still watching Angel, while Grossman's on the down low.
Hey, tighten it up, boys, tighten it up.
Now they turn right on Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, and hold for others to catch up.
Again, guys, when we get bottlenecked like this, really pay attention to people coming into our ranks.
He's talking about you, Angel, who's now the only one amongst them filming, as her husband, Patrick, who's at the back of the line, goes live. Back to Angel, where on our left, you can see some background actors, changing into their SWAT gear, while Amy Harris drudges along. Now let's get a better look with Nick Quested's angle. Yeah, hope it fits. As Patrick catches up with Angel, without missing a beat for the first time today, our paid protesters give their best cop hate performance.
Fuck your pension, do your job.
Guess that's it for now. Okay.
Yeah, make sure you turn in your vouchers to wardrobe people.
And then this happens.
You with us? Cowboys, you with us?
Uh-oh.
What do you mean?
Well, we need you to stay on the side. We don't want you guys coming in and breaking the ranks, please. Just for protection, because you can confuse us. God bless you.
All right, bless you. Okay, so yeah, they don't want me here. They've been wanting them Cowboys. He says, "Are you with us?" I said, "With who?" The speaker was eyeballing me, so no clue why. Pretty sure they don't want us here.
But Patrick doesn't care.
Oh, I don't care.
And they continue anyway. Meanwhile, a large group of actors are headed east on Constitution.
If you ever wore a suit from the store before, that's one thing. If you ever got a suit tailored, if you ever got a
your problems are all around you.
You know that it's different from going to buy a one-size-fits-all suit and then having a suit that's tailor-made. It fit different. The pants are different. The way you walk in it is totally different.
We got to do a quick pause for the commercial, and then we'll come back.
Hey, when you were created with a specific purpose, a specific design. You like a tailor-made suit, baby. You gotta stop trying to act like everybody else, speak like everybody else, dress like everybody else, look like everybody else. Stop putting people pictures on the wall and look at them saying that's what I want to be like. Baby, you're gonna do what they've never done. You're gonna go to places that they've never gone. You're gonna exceed limits that they've never exceeded before. You're gonna be able to accomplish things that they never dreamed about. So I need you to be you.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extension only with extension.
If there's something you want to achieve, you can achieve any freaking thing you want as long as you know what the goal is. That's why goal posters or goal boards or even just telling someone what your goals are, writing them down is so important, because once you can identify your goal, it makes it so much easier to work towards it. And that's something that I think our children are not being taught in the school system right now, is how to set a proper goal. It's like, hey, what do you want to achieve? Well, the teacher gave me these things I want to achieve. Okay, well, what's that going to do for you? Well, I don't know. The teacher said I had to do it. Okay, that's great, but it doesn't teach them the logical thought process or the creative thinking process to develop a goal and then reverse engineer what they need to do to accomplish that goal. And we need more of that true goal setting in our society. Otherwise, we just have a bunch of sheep who have no idea what they're doing. They're just bumbling around. Don't be a sheep, be a goat. They're more creative and adventurous anyways. Be an ornery goat.
Our TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Okay, I'm hoping the music is winding down again. I cannot hear it on my end, but I know it's supposed to be playing. Because the call board is not working right tonight, we're watching instead this Woo's News recent production showing the theatrics of January 6th and just how staged the story was that's been presented to us nonstop in the media. And again, I mean, this should outrage everybody, how big of a joke this nation is. And we've been saying the same thing since before it happened, that this was going to be a staged, managed, pre-planned production to further divide the people of the nation and give people another distracting storyline from the reality that the United States of America is not what we think it is. It is something that is controlled by a nefarious gang of people that are exploiting us, lying to us, keeping us in fear, overtaxing us. It's a nasty thing that needs to be stopped. And before we watch a little bit more of it, the same person who mentioned that they're going to be out at the Jacksonville Stadium, they just let us know there's a correction. They realized that the Jags home game is overseas for that day. So the first home game that they can meet in Jacksonville is October 15th. So October 15th is the date in Jacksonville. And I imagine that'll be a nice warm day. It's good to be down in Florida. Also, in the chat, thank you, David. David points out that from Trump's assassination scare today to the upcoming August 8th date, 8/8, is 201 days later. Good observation. Very good observation. Okay, let's go back to January 6th. Again, 201 days after the only Confederate statue in D.C. fell. Or at least this coverage of it by Woo's News.
That down. Alright, look at this. We're gonna break this down real quick. Okay, so that's Red, and this is what he looks like unmasked. Are you watching Gateway Pundit? We know how bad you wanted to find this guy. So here he is. But watch what his buddy does. So he just pulls this guy's camera down. Notice the cameraman doesn't react or even look up to see who did it, which leads us to believe he knew it was gonna happen. And this group is coming from 7th and Constitution Avenue. So all these groups are coming your way.
We're gonna storm the fucking Capitol! Fuck you, fuckers!
Bro, lay off the meth. So let's see if Trump's arrived yet. Nope. Nothing says stopping the steal more than a song about when the government suicided a Hollywood MK Ultra victim in the 60s. Oh,
Wait a minute. What is Candle in the Wind about? The Elton John song. I didn't catch that in the first playthrough. I gotta look more into what that song is about.
Sneaky Proud Boys are off, cutting a ride at Delaware Avenue towards the east side of the Capitol. Photo by Leah Millis. Guess we can't go that way. And look at all this media, ready to go. No one's here to see Trump, apparently, as the Proud Boys cut across the East Lawn to take another little pit stop amongst the early East Side crisis actors. And for our Gematria friends, orange equals to 33 in full reduction. And now the PBs get the command.
He said that because a lot of people were wearing orange on the screen. I wish he would have given a Gematria connection at 201 on January 6th. That's what people need to know about.
To resume their little tour de capitale and march south. And down to the east entrance steps, where they re-emerge. Photographed by Amy Harris. Now, why would they come all the way over here? What do you think it's gonna be, guys? I think it might have something to do with white supremacy. Nine. I like your bat, ye swine. Harris, discussing the next shop.
Tighten up, tighten up.
Tighten up, because we're about to have a massive photo shoot.
Yeah, keep up.
Video by Daily Beast photographer Will Summer. Now all these photographers come in like some kind of train or a gangbang. Amanda on her knees, getting up in there. Photographed by Amanda Andrade Rhodes. Jim Urquhart. Let's take a look at one of his photos back in November 2020. Does this look authentic? Does this look organic? Take a good look at it. See how they're all spaced and holding a posture. It's imperative to learn these tricks of the trade. So John Cherry gets the best pick, who won the Pulitzer Prize for this photo. And enough of that. Maybe Trump's come out now.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Uh-oh.
President Donald J. Trump!
I'm only letting it play out here because his microphone doesn't work. What's that all about? Get a little annoyed? Alright, moving on. So now it's noon and the photo shoot's over. Amy Harris has got her photos and she's leading the pack north on 1st Street. Now they're gonna wait for everyone to catch up. On the corner of Constitution and 1st, outside the Dirksen Senate office building. These photographers are relentless.
Because if Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election. And we become president, and you are the happiest people.
Now we're headed west on Constitution, and we're coming back from our little photo shoot, where Stephen Nelson, DC reporter for the New York Post, is going to take this footage. And thank you, Stephen, for the timestamps. And now, one of our stars, Taylor Hanson, files in with the PBs, being led by a bunch of photographers. Notice the cop escort on the right. The guy in a scooter is Eddie Block. It was a shady pass, but we don't have time for that. So now they're going to turn left onto 1st. Oh, now they're getting into character. Now they're going to take a pit stop on 1st and Constitution. They're just waiting around, getting their breakfast, and what could they be waiting for? Oh, hey, look, it's Data, who turns out to be the Ugandan-born / USC School of Cinematic Arts videographer, Young Kim, who works under his Rise Images banner, but the footage he captures today will be licensed to RMG News, who were the consultants and technical advisors for the 2014 film Nightcrawler, which is about an amateur cameraman who deceives, manipulates, and exploits everyone who stands in the way of his money shot. Let's check in with the West Side.
For anyone who's never seen that movie, Nightcrawler, again, we've brought that one up many a times. Again, what somebody will do to manipulate something, to make a story out of it, to make a buck off it. And again, it's right up there with Network from the 70s, movie that foretold the future of scripted news and theatrical news for ratings and money and agendas.
Of the Capitol. And it looks like we have some actors waiting outside in the cold and waiting for everybody to show. And remember this guy. We'll call him the Unabomber.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building.
You know they're there already.
And I'll be there with you.
No, he won't. So now the PBs are wrapping up their little breakfast. Now Amy's gonna walk ahead so she can get photographs of them walking by. Just like this. Making their grand entrance down 1st Street. And now it's kayfabe galore. Remember this guy, William Pepe. And now they're synced up with all the other actors. And now they've arrived. And now we can proceed. And look at all these people just waiting for them. Alright, go join all your kayfabe friends. Now Mayor Muriel Bowser and Chief Conte have talked extensively about all the force and backup that they're gonna call to prevent something like this. So let's take a look at our first line of defense. You've got to be shitting me. Is that a side ponytail? Background actors. Crazy lady number 2 just shouting at them, because that's her job. I know, it's hard to look at this. Getting the photos. Creating a narrative. Fake as crisis actors. We'll call this guy GIK, for kayfabe. So now Ryan Samsel's gonna whisper sweet nothings to Joe Biggs. And there's Victor Blue. And there's Sabrina Tavernez. Getting the pictures. We'll see later shooting the Babbitt death sequence. Yep, just waiting for the showdown. So now they've all pulled at the entrance of the Pennsylvania walkway. And right away, Ryan Samsel gets the command to approach and makes a beeline towards obstacle 1. And everyone follows him. Whoopsie loos. You know where the cast of Pacific Blue is waiting for him? Notice how they already have their hands up, which we learned all about in Act 1. And this footage was captured by everyone's favorite Blaze TV's Elijah Schaefer. Get a good look at these cops, guys. Notice how they're already grouped, spaced out, and in line. And here you have Happy, because she's happy, for hours. As we come into Obstacle 1, Samsel checks back to see that he's not alone. Notice how the plastic liner is still laying out. Alright, we've got Cop 2 from our previous video, pretending to phone it in. It is indeed a side ponytail. No, please don't do that. Everybody's just laughing, hanging out. Look at this cop, he's laughing with the guy, shooting the shit. Never knew an insurrection could be so funny. And over here, it's the barricade dance. The only game they really have, other than the awful chanting. Looks great for camera. You gotta keep the actors busy. Now Samsel dramatically taking off the jean jacket that he's gonna throw to the ground and never retrieve. That's not normal. Now Epps comes up to Samsel. We know what a wonderful kayfabe actor Epps is. He's just whispering for the dramatic effect. Back and forth, and no one has a weapon. Now we have Miss Barbie to the right, who turns out to be Caroline Edwards, who was one of our stars during the June 2022 Capitol hearings. Woo! That sounded real. And Barbie hangs on, and here the momentum catapults Barbie's right shoulder into the rail, injuring her. So you can see Samsel put his hands up to his head. He f***ed up. That wasn't supposed to happen. And so now look, they just come around breaking character to check on her, which is nice, which tells me he could be the controller of this scene. They don't want anybody actually hurt. I know that may sound contradicting. The purpose is not to harm each other. The purpose is to get dramatic photos and videos. So they're just grabbing. What the hell are they doing? The cop got a headlock and a cop? I have this cop come down. Can we call him Enrique? Look, he's just fighting the air. If you know anything about stage combat, it looks just like this. It's just the game of slap and tickle. And this cop just pushes him. He just pushes his head down. God, you guys couldn't get better actors than these Keystone cops? And to our right, we're doing a little remodeling. And now they all start to pour in. Teamwork. So now Tony just makes his way up the stairs because he's our wonderful kayfabe cheerleader. Put a little bit more into it, side ponytail. Give me something. No facial expression. Just nothing. Because she is dead inside. And they just retreat. And they defeat Obstacle 1 in less than a minute. Didn't even put up a fight. And they just scatter like the terrible actors they are. And they're making their way out.
Making their way downtown. Walking fast.
Part of what makes it possible also is just how you can't even see anyone's face because they all have their COVID masks on. You know what I mean? I gotta fast forward a little bit ahead here because he's got that song from the 90s, that popular song that he redid the lyrics to for the moment, but we don't want to get it ruined over that.
Here on federal property. Just kayfabing away, Elijah. Gotta sound all reportery right now. Not really making any sense. Okay. And she doesn't say anything, because she's not a real cop. She's a side ponytail. And you're listening, side ponytail? You're terrible. So is no one gonna point out the obvious here? That's okay. We'll do it. We have to do everything around here. Anyway, guys, if Blaze TV sends a reporter out to DC for the very purpose of capturing Trump's speech, which won't be over for another 15 minutes, but instead is the first human in all of the world to be standing at the gates of Obstacle 2, this guy knew it was gonna happen. Just like all of our fake Trump supporters, our fake rent-a-cops, and our very famed photographers and reporters. I mean, what else would you call this if not an inside job?
There's this crazy thing that's called journalisming.
Yeah, there's a special place in hell for gaslighting narcissists like this. Back at Obstacle 2, our K-cops are just kayfabe and chill. And now they just pull the barricades away. The cops don't do a damn thing. Hey, Pepe! The cops just watch. Look at all this teamwork. And Ryan Samsel takes the lead. Again, what do you think he's gonna go do? And what are these floor signs? Well, Cop 2 does his best kayfabing, just standing there. And they're gonna hang here on the Pennsylvania walkway for a minute, which is exactly how long it takes to defeat Obstacle 2, as Aaron Mostovsky makes his way in.
We storming the Capitol.
Ugh, now Unabomber's coming into the scene. Oh, just a little nudgy. We'll see this cop, Epps, later. Not to be confused with our captain, Ray Epps. So as they're filing in, we can see these mini fire extinguishers on top of these plastic fire mates, already set out. There's Victor Blue. Good job, Pepe. I like your radio. What in the hell? They're just filing in.
We want Zorro!
much for your paycheck. Silly, you have to complete the job first, and they'll hire just about anyone. See this black fence here? We'll see this come down in about 2 minutes, and it comes out like butter. So as we're coming into the scene, Ryan Samso goes up to Barbie and apologizes again. But she looks pissed. It looks like Ryan gets defensive. Alright, someone's getting fake arrested in the back. And here we have InfoWars turned Elijah Schaefer co-host, Savannah Hernandez, doing some journalisming. Wow, look what the cat dragged in. Sabrina Tavernez, complete with her helmet, looking unsure. How would she know to bring a helmet? And this guy is photojournalist John Farina. Ooh, cops doing some Meisner. They're just all standing around, not really sure what to do. They're buying time. They need everybody to fill this space. These people are still coming. Remember this blue tape. And they just file right in. Another fire extinguisher. This whole time they have guns, but they never use them. Enrique and Camel trying to make love. Something tells me that Camel is ex-military. God, imagine waking up to that every morning. Well, here's the fake arrest. Tay-Tay and Savannah getting it all right in front of Laffy, who's still laughing. And these black crates, in case you were wondering, contain audio equipment and loudspeaker systems rented from MSI or Maryland Sound International. Notice how all these guys know to chant the same thing? Whoa.
What's so bad? Why can't we come?
Oh, Tay-Tay and Savannah swapping dick pics. I have Aaron in the background, kayfabing his little Jewish heart out. Emphasis on little. Nordine getting some Tecate. We'll call this cop Carl. And now we're gonna remove the black fence. Boom, comes right out. As they file into the Lower West Plaza, and this Dollar General fence easily snaps for your convenience. And here you have John and Amy Schubert, who we like to call Freedom, and they just walk on through.
Yeah, let's move a little faster, people.
Hey, it's Happy! And look at all these crisis actors behind them. Back on the West Lawn, this footage comes from Town Hall reporter Julio Rosas, who wasn't tipped off about this at all. Would really love to know what's happening under that tent. Oh, all the hard work they put into lining that fence! And they just walk right in. Chief Conti, where are all your men? Sure does bring new light to the word acting, Chief. These are still actors, guys. With that many people involved, somebody would have said something to the news. So now they come in, they're making their way towards the southwest scaffolding, with Camel leading them. God, Epps, put a little more into it. What do you think's going to happen right now? Where do you think they're going? Another fire extinguisher. I know, it's cold, guys, but this is going to be in the history books. It all seems so rehearsed. Oh, someone's knocked over a fire extinguisher. Wonder what it'll be used for. Nordine, are you drunk? It's okay if you are. Maybe it'll just add more to your character. Side ponytail. She's like a wallflower. Now this guy right here is Korn, and he's the star of the scene that's about to take place. Notice this guy in the background. He runs, and then he slows down as Cop 2, close to give him a gentle hug. Just brings him back into the scene. And where's Major going? I'm gonna tell you what they're doing in just a second. Listen to what this old guy says. Did you hear what he said? Go ahead and push me down. Play into me. What do you think, folks? They're getting ready to spray. Are they summoning the powers of Miss Cleo? Everyone's psychic. Notice the cooler. Notice the lumber in the background. Notice this bag of trash. Or bag of props. Got Unabomber trading beauty secrets. We'll call this guy here Dr. T. Here we're about to unveil one of our smoking guns. Notice the pile of lumber sitting here. It will be used later. Now watch this. Insert bull. Or what's left of it, and Bull is our stunt guy, who turns out to be 33-year-old Iraq war veteran Landon Kenneth Copeland, and he probably charges a lot because we only have him for 20 minutes. And that's our cop Major, who just brought him in. Now as our cops are bringing Bull in, we're gonna have a little Turkish delight, a little mini scene to warm up the kids. Get that shot at him. He's gonna climb to the top. What do you think's gonna happen? It's just a little mini show to get everybody in the spirit, and they take him down. And it probably just serves as some type of distraction. We're gonna see little mini shows later. And here's the guy who tried to go in earlier, taking the knee. Notice this guy in the black, kayfabing, like he got maced. So this guy escorts him away from this area. He's the one who came in with Bull. Notice the ladder and the cones in the background. We'll see those later. And now they bring Turkish Delight down, with a big shit-eating grin on his face.
The main crowd ain't even come yet.
Yeah, and they won't for another 45 minutes. So here, Bull makes his way into the crowd, but he doesn't know where to go. So he's gonna come back and ask for directions. Door opens. You'd think they'd lock it. You'll notice later that the northwest scaffolding, you know, the only side that they go up, doesn't have its doors on the outside. Getting his lunch.
Looks like you're having a blast. Looks like you're having a blast.
I guess that's a no. And now Bull knows where to go. Hey, it's Happy. Oh, now the SWAT's coming in. Look at all these fat cops. You know who paid for all of this, right? We did. And Q's right behind them. Oh, someone's late to the show. Get a good look at these cops. Barbie's in the background taking a break. This brand new fire extinguisher. And Q's just gonna walk right up the steps while Nick Quested gets all of it. And they just file right in, hoping their tactical gear stays intact, while John Farina double penetrates them with 2 cameras. Jesus, it's like Inbred City. While Sabrina gets all of it. This cop's laughing. And so
again, if you're only listening on TFR tonight, you're not getting the visuals. You need to find this video and watch it. I mean, would it just like just showing? It's just obvious that those are actor rent-a-cops, and the way they come in, so lackadaisical, getting all in position next to the protesters are there. It's just like, I mean, what a joke. This is our nation, you guys. This is our nation. And people are asleep thinking that they can tune into the media for the truth and the facts and what they need to know about. Where can I get my latest booster? January 6th. God. I mean, we already knew it was this bad, but this really captures it. I mean, this is just undeniable. Here we go.
Backups, they don't say anything else. Just nothing. Why did they hire her? This guy's standing in front of Data. We'll call him David, and we'll see him later. So everybody's just standing around, waiting. Listen to how quiet it is. What do you think they're all waiting for? So, if you are an actor, one of your main jobs is to do this. Pour water into people's eyes. Get used to it. You never had a country, because it isn't a country. It's a corporation, and still under crown law. Look at these guys just chatting it up with the cops. The summoning is part of the show. Oh, there's some backup.
Ready for some kayfabe action, boys?
Why do you think Camel's doing such a great job right now? Not only is he ginning up the crowd, there's a shit ton of photographers right behind us. Does anybody know what that patch is? Oh, Grandma's kicking him out. Everyone's so polite around here. Look how they're all spaced. And that's Waterboy. We'll see him later. And they're still flooding in. Meanwhile, Congress begins joint session, certifying the, quote, presidential election results. You know, the main arc at the end of season 2020. As Michaela Pence steps into the role of Judas. And all of them just pretending to be completely oblivious to all of the bad acting that's occurring outside of their lair. Outside, let's go live with Patrick on the Maryland Walkway, or as we like to call it, the Southwest Channel. Seems kind of vacant, but we don't see a lot of footage of the Southwest Channel. Think about it. Trump told everybody to march on Pennsylvania Avenue, which becomes the Pennsylvania Walkway. In fact, he said Pennsylvania 19 times in his speech. Remember, we believe that Patrick is a real person who doesn't know that he's surrounded by a bunch of actors. Ash experiment, anyone? So as he enters, notice this massive group headed towards us, away from the Capitol, and in a hurry, where they'll break into pairs, find their placement marks, and faithfully stand, because they've been given instructions not to move from that spot until further notice, so that when our real folks show, they can fully envelop them. Is that Gilbert Godfrey? Now the Scriptures duo take their position and begin their bullhorn Bible-thumping rants. Get a good look at these background actors.
We are so honored that they hired us as crisis actors to come here to the Capitol, and we're going to blend in with everyone au natural. We are going to storm the building.
Take it! We're gonna take it!
Now let's cut to Angel, who's still on the east side, where they've set up a live screening of Trump's speech.
And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come.
Over yonder on the west side, everybody's just cruising around like this is Lollapalooza or something. Might as well be. Oh, just a little boop boop, now to get you fake arrested. No! Oh, hell, you can't blame these guys. They've never fake arrested somebody before. Oh, there's the cross. Hope they sanded it down. Oh, guess not. G.I. Kayfabe, chatting it up with the cop, sees the camera on him, and starts malfunctioning. Oh dear. What happened there? Maybe the power of Christ compelled him. So as they cross crowd surf, why do you think they've come up here? We're just gonna spoil it for you. There are 4 reasons why we believe they've come up to this spot. Number 1, to have all of our newcomers fill in the space behind us. 2, so they can bring out all the barricades when they push everyone back. 3, so we can buy time with our photographers before all of our real Trump supporters show in 40 minutes. 4, and most importantly, to dress the set. Meaning, this backdrop is too pristine for our photographers, and we need to get it a little bloody dingy gringy for our cameras. So let's break it down now. Now Bull has entered the scene, and notice is Karn having a little conversation. And not safe for work warning? But while you're watching Karn, you gotta watch Bull too. Now watch what Karn does. He does this little thriller dance. And notice Bull constantly looks in the direction of Karn. So after Karn does his little thriller dance, Bull turns to the right and he nods. And he bends down and he just makes his way over to Karn. And he just stands there. And then he puts his arm around him. The story goes is that Karn is shot with a rubber bullet in the cheek, and it pisses Bull off. So let's see if it really happened. This is the impetus that Bull needs to get all riled up, because he's our stunt guy. Now let's take a look at this blood. Now the color of this blood looks completely different than this. And the spatter here doesn't really resemble a cheek wound. We've got a bottle of peroxide in the back, and they're gonna get as much fake blood in this area as possible. And then they're gonna trample through it. And now you see what we mean by dressing the set. So now Karn just nonchalantly spits the blood capsule into his bottle. And now Melina enters. She just pours water onto the wound. Notice that Karn doesn't even look to see who's doing it. He just expects it. She's the source of all the spatter, dressing the set.
Don't put water in your blood!
And she dumps some more water on the blood. And now he's squat, so Samsel and Pudge can treat him. So if you're wondering what that is, it's wound sealer. And when they do these types of drills, they would treat this like a real wound. And take a good look at it. And this is what it's gonna look like later. So now he's gonna try to take it out.
No, leave it in there. Leave it in there. Leave the ball in
Now
there.
listen to what Melina says.
He needs a medic!
He needs a medic. I am the medic. She forgot she was the medic.
He needs a medic!
Notice the radio, and unlike Biggs, not for optics. Makes you wonder why they would have wound sealer and peroxide on them. Jesus. Now this footage was taken by Data, and unfortunately, this is all we have to piece together. And all of the footage that people have, there's cuts in it, with the exception of Jaden. Just checking in, does this look real? Does that look real? Getting all the pictures. And this fake cop, we'll call him Trapper. Notice his nameplate is missing, as he exaggerates a dramatic, muffled monologue. You can see Melina holds up a can of Wound Sept Plus. She's gonna disinfect him? No, she doesn't. She doesn't take him anywhere. And you can see Karn tilt his blood bottle, and Chief just watches along. They're just buying time. And remember, Karn has a big photo shoot later, while Nick Quested gobbles it up with 2 cameras. So this cop's gonna bend down and check on Karn, just keep spitting in that bottle, because we're gonna use that later. And now the cop attempts to escort him, but he's intercepted by Samsung. I'm with them. Oh, okay, this isn't a league of their own.
Samsel, that's fake anger and background.
Oh, I can't believe it, JR. Oh, I love Bull. He's the best one here, because he's a method actor. And fake cop Trapper pretending to do something. So now we're gonna do a round of slap and tickle. This is how this works. They play fight for a little, get all the shots, and then take a break. Okay, we see Karn there. And we're just stepping all up in the blood, creating transfer patterns. Ooh, somebody brought the silly string. And now we're gonna see why we call him Bull. See how he comes into the scene, anticipating the impact, with his back arched, as he charges into them. Now it gets even better. But let's just pause it right there. So we see Karn here, whose real name is Joshua Matthew Black, who released a YouTube video, which has since been removed, 2 days after the shit show. And in this video, he tells us that he was protecting a Capitol officer who had been pepper sprayed and fallen to the ground. And that's when he was hit in the cheek with a plastic projectile.
All right, we got a quick commercial break again on TFR. We are on TFR tonight and having some problems with the call board, so we're playing Woo's News. If you got here late, Woo's News, WOOZ space news. This video deserves way more views. All of America should see this video, especially after the nonstop January 6th programming in the mainstream media. And, I mean, this does a perfect job of how fake our news media is. I mean, you got to be kidding me. All these news networks, they didn't figure this out? It took Woo's News? Remember, they had to censor us, GematriaEffectNews, for calling everything before it happened. Here we go.
This has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
It's not for you, but it's what it is. See the way it's up. It's an almost have a plan. They just make jokes and go, oh, the Roman took horse face. Want to see my ivermectin? They just ivermectin for humans. Yeehaw! See this stuff? See this okay? I'm gonna kill those Bryans, you bastard murderers. You think I'm easy to kill? You hit the bioweapon, you monster. No, Brian's ready for humans. You want to suspect me to kill me, you son of a bitch? You goddamn demon. The fraud. They don't oppose the beast. They don't oppose the monster. They get on their knees to it and then say, "No, you get those others to eat me last." And they just go, "Really, Alex? It's maybe forgive me." That's what it is. Really? Yes. That's the whole message. That the rest of the day, you better stay pretty close by the bathroom. You're going to get a supernatural pleasure. It was a massive dump. Wow. And sit around it. So those medical doctors gave that to me. It's incredible. It helped the family. It helped me. It helped everybody. Murder yourself. I want you to know that he wants to planet for himself and he wants you dead. Well, guess what, Fauci? He ain't rolling over and dying so easily. You little murdering maggot. It's been forgiven. And they just go, "Really, Alex? It's been forgiven." That's what it is. Really? Yes. Let's have the cherry on top. Look at this. Watch. See that? Troy.
You must unite.
We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
Culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal. More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. I should have thought it.
It's code has been compromised.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. Again, the audio is not right, so I cannot exactly tell when the commercial spots are ending. On TFR, if you're listening to audio broadcast, it's possible my voice is overlapping with the music, but we're doing our best despite the glitches. For people on the YouTube chat saying that we should ditch TFR and just do YouTube, again, it's nice to be on TFR because it has a call board that typically works. It is having a technical issue tonight, and it's just another platform where the information can get archived. Again, Google deletes content all the time. TFR does not. So we will continue to be on the TFR platform every Wednesday night. If you don't like the commercials, sorry about that. That's how the network survives. And no, I'm not paid by TFR, but I do appreciate that they put my show there. So playing the ads on Wednesday nights, it's doable. And since we are having technical issues, we're watching Woo's News broadcast of the January 6th staging, which the whole world should know about, especially the way this has been forced down our throats for all these time. And just think about how many, hearings and impeachments and just all the stuff going on, you guys, the trials. It's just, people need to wake up. Just like how it said in this documentary earlier, we don't have a country. This is a corporation. This is a business. And that's right. And don't forget the word corporation equals 144, like Jesuit order, like United States of America. Okay, let us continue.
But we know that's not true because he was already shot. Looking like a piece of corn or a vintage toy gun pellet. It should be noted that these types of wound applications are readily producible. So here's the scene of him protecting the cops. Don't hurt him! Did you hear that crunch? That's his blood bottle. Oh, God. And Bull gets in another shove. Backs to large. Don't tase me, bro. Hey, remember that viral phrase from the 2007 University of Florida incident where police tased Andrew Meyer for asking John Kerry if he was a member of the Skull and Bones fraternity? Which he is. 322, baby. Oh, watch out for sneakies. Well, this cop signals for a reset. So look at this cop. We'll call him Lieutenant. Now, where do you think he's going right now? Looks like he's going over to Bull, but he's stopped by Falafel. So now he goes over to Bull to direct him to a new setup to his right. And he says, okay. And now Lieutenant pushes the guy, and they're kayfabing away for all the cameras. Victor Blue just blocking us, just trampling all up in that blood. Yeah, tell us what happened.
God bless America.
Oh.
God bless America.
No, it's like they used a strawberry popsicle for that blood.
God gave us freedom.
Okay, and thank you for that. At the same time, Dr. T gives instructions to a cop, and you can see the barricades have been placed on the south side, where a lot of our crisis actors have moved down next to the media tower. So while they're resetting, let's see what's happening on Pennsylvania Avenue. And here's one of our stars, the face of the proverbial shit show, Jacob Chansley, just leading all our actors to the set, loving that camera, getting that attention, because he knows he's our main fall guy.
He is one of those paid protesters that travels around.
Drinking their blood, eating our babies.
Well, that's true.
I'm a cow, bitch, I'm a cow. I'm not a cat.
We're not doing this for Donald Trump, we're doing this for the Constitution. It's for the future of our republic. I hope you guys will all stand with us. Thank you.
Baby, why is Hot Wheels over here talking about some stand with him? Baby, where are we standing?
Woo! Back on the main stage.
And then late in the evening, boom, these explosions of bullshit. Together we will drain the Washington swamp.
No, you won't. You had 4 years to do that. Didn't arrest any of them.
Let's walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to thank you all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all for being here. This is incredible.
Really? And nothing concludes Trump's legacy than a song about a gay bathhouse. Look at this guy. At the same time... God, yes, there is a new world order, and it's well on its way. And full disclosure, we have a bit of neutrality bias when it comes to Jonesy. And like most free thinkers who begin their descent down the rabbit hole, you are likely to run into this guy along your path. And throughout the years, he was someone in your corner, and you cheered him on until one day you realize that he is the epitome of controlled opposition. And more on him later. Scab. It's a grand high witch. Scab. Woo! It's the cast of Saturnia. Only closer Tony Danza. Look at all these Freemasons. Skip. Now the real people come. The authentic people who accept this one. Here's one of our main stars, Ashley Babbitt.
There's an estimated over 3 million people here today.
No, there's not. What are you smoking? You know what we find interesting about this live stream? It was licensed and sold to TMZ. How'd you guys manage to do that post-mortem? Interesting. And now the Crack Pack and their disciples make their way to set. Back on the west side, where we're having a little barricade ballet. Get it, Bull.
Guys, I want you to pretend that that's your paycheck.
You'd think there was gold in those barricades. Jesus, they're all like, we're at this barricade, precious.
And let's give a round of applause for Bull.
Because he's done. Now this guy's gonna signal to stop while they drag this guy away. Like a scene from Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, there's Kano getting wild and just loving every minute of it. What is happening? While our sneaky photographers get her done. Get those pics. Oh no, it's Cronus, which means a death has taken place. Benjamin Phillips, founder of Trumparoo, who organized a bus of Trump supporters from Pennsylvania to D.C. Several people called Phillips' cell phone when he failed to arrive after the shit show was over. And one of those calls was answered by Washington police, who told them that Phillips had suffered a stroke while he was looking for a parking space and died at George Washington University Hospital, per Francisco Diaz, who will become our chief medical examiner in 22 days. To complicate matters, Phillips' obituary will not be released for another 4 months. So let's see what transpired. So here at Obstacle 2, they've plopped this redneck archetype here next to these padded modular mats, just taking it all in. When all of a sudden, a flock of folks, including our Obstacle 2 barricade remover, carry Phillips north on a barricade stretcher. Notice there's a person on top performing CPR. And remember these two, fake National Guard and Sergeant Pepper, followed by photographer Chris Jones, this cop Will Call Legs, and Time Magazine photographer Christopher Lee. And here we have our background SWAT, fresh from holding, as they scatter to make way for Phillips. But Taylor Hanson claims that Phillips died after he suffered a direct hit from a grenade. And this is a regular guy with a face shield, just riding around on a hoverboard. So now more SWAT comes into the scene, followed by Chris Jones and, Marini Staub. When... What? Another one? Uh-oh! Who is it, boy? Kevin Greason. Greason, a 55-year-old father of 5 from Alabama, who worked at the Goodyear tire plant in Decatur, had a history of high blood pressure, and in the midst of the excitement, suffered a heart attack. According to his wife, she was on the phone with him when he actually died, and spoke with the person who attempted to resuscitate him. To make matters worse, posts circulating on Twitter and Facebook claimed that while Greason attempted to steal a portrait in the Capitol, suffered a heart attack after he repeatedly tased himself in the scrotum. So let's see how it went down. Look at this one, pretending to be on the phone. And ask anyone who was there, did you have service? So they're trying to give CPR to Kevin Greason. I want you to notice where everyone is standing, just for placement. So they're gonna take him away. And the guy carrying him, just smiling. Make a hole. Ugh, if I had $1. So they put him down and do it again. It's the same people. This is still Tyler Baggins' footage, who, by the way, sold his footage to Storyful and licensed to the New York Post. Remember that blue tape? So this tells us they're right by Obstacle 2, by the northwest entrance.
National Guard out here.
That's not the National Guard, y'all. Tyler Baggins still lying through his crooked teeth. And now they take him away. Wonder where they're going. So now they clear some space, because they're gonna set him down again. One last time. And look, fake National Guard and Sergeant Pepper are here to assist. Again, what is going on? And Legs is there too. Hey, it's Dilly. So now they bring out the Striker Pro XT stretcher as the DC Fire Department attends to him. For clarity, we're not here to argue the fates of Greason and Phillips. But what are the chances that both of these men died of heart attacks in the same location at the same time and aided by the same people? If they take him and the defibrillator away on a stretcher trolley, as fake National Guard and Sergeant Pepper lend a helping hand. Again. Now, let's due north and check in with Angel Walk, because we're gonna do a quick perimeter sweep. Oh, now they've erected the hydraulic wedge barriers. Oh, so that's where our real cops are.
Oh, let him go.
As award-winning filmmaker and 6-time Emmy-nominated writer-director, Michael Negro makes his way to set. Back to Angel. Yep, just waiting around in the cold for further instructions. Oh, we'll see him later. Look at this shopping cart of goodies, because you're not coming to set without a Trump hat or a Trump flag. As Angel enters the Southwest Channel.
Keep moving up right, keep moving up left. We need everybody to fill those holes so they can see us.
And you'll see why the Southwest Channel is so important for harboring our actors. See how they're all paired, placed in space. Yep, just frozen, like their souls. Ready to mix in with the real Trump supporters. Even after 10 minutes, our Bible friends are still here.
Holy Mary, Mother of God.
Jesus, look who it is. Bull, on a phone call, looking all haggard. And look at this family, on their marks. There's so much room to go in, but they just stand around like the zombies they are. So let's go in further. Oh, we've got some Oscar-winning performances. Robbie! At the same time, David there, living his best life. And this footage comes from photographer foe Benjamin Diaz, who has a lot of experience capturing these staged events. Oh, and now our photographer joins us. Now Benjamin's gonna elicit some commentary from this man-child.
I think that they should be focusing on Antifa, spraying them, not us.
What more narrative building from children?
We will not bend! We will not break!
Cringy!
Take a look at these people!
Cringy! What the hell is that? Remember this one, Bono, and David's run out of things to do. Look at this guy. Just pop the gate right out, and they strike it, removing it from the set. La la la. So now David's on his speakerphone. Listen to what he says.
Wait, that's like a mile back.
And back to the main stage. So now Kano brings out his best men. Oh, just a little nudgy. Woo! When translated into kayfabe, that's just a little tickle. Now another round of Bury the Treasure as we shift your focus to the camera crew. You know, the ones who capture the lie, then packaged and sent out to you for your attention. And it works every time. Snap, snap. Oh, Kano, roiding out. Okay. You see this woman in the background picking up hats and gloves? When they break, she goes around and clears the clutter from the front lines, so we don't want anyone to slip and hurt themselves. Hey, it's Bike Cop from Act 1. Yeah, open your eyes, Americans. And here, Amy Harris giving a little love tap to John Minkelo, who reciprocates, because they're all friends, just like the Republicans and Democrats. And this is a big reunion for all of our photographers. While Julio Rosas, yeah, we see you, looks for a more deceptive angle. And in comes Waterboy, waving his flag, might be on the spectrum. And this cop's just laughing. Audience, please, tell me, do these cops look like they fear for their lives? What is this, Edie from Grey Gardens?
Oh, you know this is recording.
Such a friendly insurrection. section. Still giggling like a little schoolgirl. Oh, he's got the rosary out. Now I just need some garlic. Yeah, just smiley Savannah over here. Why do you think he's posing with the rosary like that? Alright, let's pause it right there for some context. Egypt, 2012. What do you think this is? What do you think they're doing? Oh, getting the pictures. That's right, it's a kayfabe photo shoot. And every time you see these kind of pictures like this abroad, they're all staged. All of them. I mean, hello, Afghanistan Taliban revival. Look, this guy forgot to die.
Just real quick about him pointing out continuously Savannah Hernandez being all around. If you don't know who that is, she's a YouTuber, but lately she's been on Fox News a lot. That's actually been going on for more than a year now that she's been a Fox News contributor. But she spent a lot of time down at the border. If you watch Fox News, they're always covering the border and all the people coming across the border, supposedly. And she'd be one of the reporters constantly down there filming and pointing out, like, why are all these people so nicely dressed? And what's with all the Louis bags? It doesn't even make sense, these people that are filming that supposedly trekked across the desert to sneak into America. They're nicely dressed, a lot of them, like it's a fashion contest. And they do have designer bags. It's like, what's really going on down here? Again, it looks like it's just more crisis actors, more set, more storyline. Look at all the people from all over the place funneling across the border. Things don't even look right, but people still aren't asking questions. So, again, just in terms of their agents and their news correspondents and their supposed journalists and people that have clearly sold out for a paycheck. So here we go.
Yeah, holding the Bible open. Oh, so sad. Notice how all the signs are in English. It's because it's for you. And you'll notice here that Morsi's name is misspelled twice. And upon further investigation, all of the protest signs appear to have been created by one person. We're gonna protest until the return of the legitimate president. Sound familiar? And here's some context for your context. Morsi had won Egypt's presidential elections in 2012, and by decree had expanded his presidential authority and removed judicial review of his decrees, which was approved in a national referendum.
For the record, we were covering this a decade ago. The staged Morsi protest. Again, these things aren't new. They're going on all over the world. And the evidence has been out there. Just people aren't looking into things enough. They're not questioning the authorities.
With 33% of the electorate voting. 33, there's that number again. The opposition claimed fraud in the process and called for an inquiry. Jeez, where'd you hear that before? This resulted in, quote, violent clashes between pro and anti-Morsi protesters. And 6 months later saw the end of Morsi's presidency. Got the fake blood while the doctor checks the pulse. I bet there's one there. Later, Egyptian prosecutors charged Morsi. And during a court hearing on espionage charges, Morsi's final words were, "My country is dear, even if it oppressed me. And my people are honorable, even if they were unjust to me." He collapsed a minute later and died. Nope, not sketchy at all. I wonder if he was Epstein. I'm just kidding. That guy's still alive. These staged protests, complete with crisis actors, are happening in every country every single day. Allah Akbar, why? Guys, these people are poor, and they don't know what they're doing. Now, do you see how these picture poses relate to our capital friend? Same shit, different countries, same cabal. And there's your context. Back to the clown show. So now we're on the east side of the Capitol. There ain't much going on, but we have some actors waiting. And back on the west side, the camera pans to reveal Blue, unmasked. Are you listening, Gateway Brendan? Oh, so this is our time to get some really brutal shots before all of our real Trump supporters show up. Because after this, they're gonna send all of our actors down into the courtyard area. Notice how no one reacts to the mace, because it's water. And this guy's job is to just wave the flag back and forth. This is not a Wim Hof meditation. Oh God, how'd you get up in there? Listen to what these two frat guys say.
Fucking pepper spray us. You beat us. Fucking scumbags. Oh, yeah, you guys are pathetic. Oh, you hit race. Oh, you hit race. Alright, later, you fucking
It's all fake, guys. And look at these brand new sweatshirts. No horns. Excuse me.
How is it? How is it?
Ooh, Unabomber. A little fruity in the booty.
Hey, walk up to the front of the fucking line. Come here.
Oh, Tay-Tay taking the initiative.
Needs medical.
Oh, corn. Looks like you have a little something in your cheek. Listen to what this cop says. Anticipating some water sports?
Just gonna make a hole in your lip real permanent.
Ooh, shouldn't that sting a bit? Look at this guy, Edie the water boy. Like he's fighting his demons. Oh, we need a barricade over here, guys. Look, they're just standing around. A lot of waiting around, guys. Oh, forgot your taser, bruh. And here, have it back. So let's see what happens if someone's injured. Oh, Grandpa down. Grab your stuff. Where are we going? That's right, guys. If you are injured, you will be removed from the set.
Yeah, get him a medic.
Yeah, get him a medic. And they're gonna repurpose him. Background actor down. Oh, look at this guy. Will call. Fisted. This is pathetic. Got it. Photo by John Minkolo. Yeah, just give him that fluoridated spritz. Oh, Grandma's down too. Quite literally. And if you're wondering what that is in his pocket, great controversy. The untold story behind the Vatican's rising influence in America. Yeah, Satanism. And now they take her away. It's a beautiful wig. And just like that, the grandparents are out. Sponsored by Deer Park.
Ain't no damn sense in this.
That's what I keep saying.
Bunch of fucking cowards.
Ryan Sam's so eager for attention, because that's his job. Amanda Andrade Rhodes getting in the scene while he gets a selfie with Tay Tay.
My wife's gonna come today.
As Data pans to Tay Tay.
Feeling great out here.
Okay, Carson.
Going wonderful.
Wonderful?
It feels great.
Bet those dollar signs coming your way are pretty great too.
America.
Cringe.
This is what real journalism is right here.
What do you mean by real? And now he's off to Amy.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, Amy. How's her conscience holding up?
Oh, I recognize you from Portland.
She shakes her head. You know you're not supposed to be talking to her, Tay Tay.
Hey.
And she ignores him. And he plays off the disc by repeating this narrative.
You got Antifa here too. You got Antifa and Trump supporters within the same vicinity here for the same thing.
You see this Antifa arrows bit on the screen? Well, this footage belongs to Taylor Hanson. You know, to implant a narrative. Think, people. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. And now they bring out that missing barricade. Edie's still clinging to this water bottle. Why do you think he's just standing here? Because he's waiting for all the photographers to show. And here they are. Now they can proceed. Oh, they got the lumber. So they spray him down with a little turmeric water. Now they're gonna hose him down. Hey, key swine. If Tyler Baggins were here, he'd call this guy National Guard, who's gotten very clingy with Edie. Yep, just guiding him around like he's Ann Sullivan. You might have to Google it. Photographers, look a little...
So he says spraying him with turmeric water. Of course, turmeric, very orange. Cooked with turmeric, your food becomes very orange. Also very healthy. You should have some turmeric in your diet. But I think he's right about that they're getting sprayed with turmeric water because the bear spray, the police spray... It is orange that actually burns your eyes, and I can tell you all about it because I got it from Antifa when I was outside Powell's Books. That was back in January 2021. And again, it's blinding. It took me over an hour to get my vision back. People had to dump gallons and gallons of water over my face. We didn't have milk. But before I could finally see again, it took about an hour of pouring water over my face for me to be able to see anything again. And it's very painful, too. It burns. Feels like there's scalding liquid on your body. And as it drains down on your face and drips down into your body, it makes the rest of your body sting. I had red, like, burn marks all through my body where it ran off my face. But, yeah, I mean, you can see the guy there that just got sprayed with whatever the orange stuff is by the police. He's not even reacting in pain. He's just, it looks like, yeah, turmeric water. That's how big of a joke this is. Remember they said Brian Sicknick died from this because he got sprayed by protesters. And like we were saying, it was all by the numbers and what a name, Sicknick. But yeah, just from going through the experience of being sprayed by that stuff and then looking at his reaction, I'm thinking, yeah, that does not look right. He should be showing some kind of pain.
A bit inconspicuous, while they got Corn behind them, who's now become an asset. Now here's a classic move. See how he's backing up into the barricade so the cops can push him? Throw yourself to the cops, and they get the shots. As he backs it up, he's offered water, but Edie's like, bro, there's water hidden everywhere. And when you push her, give me a hi-ya! Put your back into it! Give me a hi-ya! That's it. All this imitation Bon Iver has nothing to do. And there's Rachel Powell, who we'll see later. All Savannah hoards it all for herself. Now they're gonna drag him back, like that scene from Ghost. Look at all that fake blood, dressing the set. So they try to take his water away, but he ain't having it, because that's his life source. Maybe he has a condition. Maybe he'll make friends with Grandpa, who has all of the water. Well, let's go down there. Look at this guy in the blue. He's just gonna set the barricade back where it belongs. Now he's gonna pretend like he got sprayed, pours water right over his sunglasses, and then does it again. Aw, he got so serious. John Minkolo going down to bring some photog friends up. And look at Pudge, and all that kayfabing. But can you see what's next to him? It's John Michelow. Remember what I said about our photographers being off limits? Well, something unexpected is about to happen to John Michelow. In their storyline, Michelow is literally dragged out from this area because protesters suspect him to be Antifa. But John, with his obvious press badge and cameras, has been there all day. It should also be noted that in 6 months, Julio Cortez, who's filming this scene, and John Michelow will both win the Pulitzer Prize for these images. So I believe that John is either in on it or he was set up. You decide for yourself. Y'all remember how to do that later. And now it's time for another great reset. And like Biden to a helpless minor, Pudge can't let go. Let it go, let it go. And now, Bike Cop has changed his appearance to the Invisible Man. Yeah, Pudge, take a break, like Barbie. And below our star kayfabe photog Brennan Goonschwager, Jacob Chansley has arrived to set as he climbs the media tower. So while our real Trump supporters file in during our reset, let's make some friends. Watch this guy, kayfabing his little heart out when he sees the camera on him and self-cringes. Oh, getting a little shy. And this one. Guess she's done? What the hell happened to this guy? That guy must be friends with Karn. You're never too old to deceive the American public. Yeesh. Okay, calm down. Get a room. Get in the pics. So compelling. Much convincing. But more importantly, what the hell is that? Wearing shorts in January. And here's my favorite kayfabe meltdown with David.
They say back to blue. Back to blue. You know what black to blue is? Tear gas in my fucking eyes. That's the blue. And what are you guys doing? You guys over here. You're not even fucking reporting on it. Where's the media? Where's CNN? Where's Fox News?
Oh, they're there, brother. Okay, no one's believing you're a Christian. Who are you trying to fool, Yamaka? While they're resetting, let's do one more perimeter scan over here. Notice the lumber has increased. Notice this white patio umbrella. Dr. T having a smoke. Sees the camera and tries to hide it, and then freezes. And here we have a very, very special guest who we'll come back to later. And behind us, we have some fake help coming. Hoorah! So let's follow them in, but we'll take a left, where Angel Wash has a surprise for us. Back on the Southwest Channel.
Flashbangs, I don't know, set off green gas. Pretty scary.
Notice something? No one's taking any video. That's right, if you're on the Southwest Channel, no phones. And our Bible bandits. Yep, still faithfully cemented to their spots. It's an insurrection resurrection.
Is there any copyrights on prayers? I'm not sure. But here comes some Trump, okay. Oh, the giant Trump flag.
And here they come with the giant Trump flag. Who's that? Oh, and there's Bono escorting the flag in. Now they crowd surf the giant flag. Ooh, fun. All the way to the cops. There's Bono. Yeah, teamwork makes the scheme work. And there it is, another mini show for the kids. Well, that was uneventful. Now, let's move back over to the Washington Monument, where Jade Sacker and John Sullivan / Jaden begin their pilgrimage to the production. Sullivan is one of our major fall guys. You know, the sole reason why people believe Antifa infiltrated the protest. But look how late he's arriving.
They going inside. They about to break inside that Capitol building.
Remember, John Sullivan knows what's gonna happen, while his lady friend Jade, who's filming Sullivan for an apparent Netflix special, is left in the dark.
They broke inside.
Oh, no, they haven't. They're just waiting for you.
Yeah, I want to get into it. Oh, yeah, I'm going up. So I'm going all the way to the top.
Don't spoil all of
Quick commercial break. We got the quick commercial break.
Find out how things work. Shook gave me this word for my life change. He said, study. If you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. Don't leave it to chance. Make it a study. You've got to study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life. Now, here's a qualifying phrase. You may not be able to do all you find out, but you should find out all you can do. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it. And the other 9/10 went down the drain. Not for lack of opportunity, for lack of information. So that's number one, find out how things work. Now here's the best human virtue for finding out. Curiosity.
Amazing how people have been raving about iAlife all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with iAlife, it's a 99% pure CBD oil. But the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with iAlife. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to ialife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's ialife.com, AYA life.com.
Greetings, Earth Explorers. My name is Brooks Agnew, and I am your host on X Squared Radio every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Truth Frequency Radio Network. This is where the past meets the future. We explore the mysteries of the universe and of the Earth. We might go a little past your imagination, but have no fear. You will be safely traveling with us. We will dissolve the propaganda of dangerous people with dangerous plans for the planet. We will discuss the latest technologies and challenges for humankind. We will discover the safest place for you to stand when the thinkings and doings of mankind come flying apart, and how you can be one of the people that helps put it back together. Join us.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
All right. Again, I think we're back. We are going to finish this documentary here by Woo's News, the January 6th staging. Let us continue.
Now they're going to get their gear ready here on the Northwest Lawn.
Jade, hold this shit. No?
Can't you see she's busy working for Netflix?
Thanks for the help.
Ooh, sass.
Mom told me to keep you safe.
Okay, well, I don't care.
Okay, teenager angst coming from a grown man.
Wait, do we have a code name?
No.
Here it does. It's Jaden. So as we make our way up the Northwest Lawn, we discover that there are multiple porta potties, and people are using them. We even have a sanitation station set up. How accommodating. Not really sure how one can take a shit amongst all this chicanery. So let's go deeper into the belly of the beast. No, I'm not talking about Bill Gates. Oh, what's going on over here? Where's this guy coming from? And this guy. Go on, get up in there, Jade. You're safe, because you're surrounded by a bunch of distressed thespians.
Really? I knew. You guys gonna come in the building?
We already know the answer.
Yeah, let's go.
Whoops, spoiler alert. Back on the south side, everyone's just waiting around again. But let's learn how to correctly move someone. So we see these cops leading this man out, and then they release. Yep, more times than not, in the spotlight, we want to escort people in a kayfabe fashion. Then when no one's looking, we can drop it. And guess who's over yonder? It's Edie, the water boy, making new friends, still clutching his water. Back on the south set.
Hey, who do you work for?
Uh-oh, they're gonna get you. Notice the Twink brothers. Notice this cache of water. Notice this cache of water.
Excuse me, sir, is it true that the mustache holds the flavor in? It definitely holds it in.
And there he is, our special guest, Brian D. Sicknick, looking all healthy and calm as we direct your attention to this kayfabe photo shoot. Some kind of tug of war with a ratchet strap. I guess that didn't work. Notice the controller of the scene, and they just give up. Now they retreat like the cowardly cops that they are. Now we're gonna play that scene again because you were distracted. See this guy in the background with the umbrella? Yeah, well, he's not happy with his size, so he's gonna upgrade and snatch up the white patio umbrella, while this cop grabs a plank of lumber and hops over the retaining wall. And here you can see a lot of our actors hanging out over there. But why? Let's take a closer look. Yep, you guessed it. This is the break area, complete with interlocking rubber tiles for your comfort. So when your feet start to hurt, you can come pop a squat. Now let's go center stage. Bless you.
Oh, Leanthos missing her DC patch. Well, don't look at it. Well, don't look at his.
Oh, don't touch the gate. Little controller.
Don't you look at it.
All my cops are patch conscious. Whoopsie-woos. So much for those instructions, and they just let them take it.
What are you saying? Speak up!
Probably move back. No toques.
They're not officers, man.
Yeah, no shit. And over here, by the Northwest scaffolding. Oh, now we have a line here. And over here, watch this chick. She grabs the fire mate. Oh, and an underhand serve to the center. Amanda Andrade Rhodes getting in the scene. They're gonna set up this little scene for her. Oh, watch out. You know how those Capitol cops perish so easily.
That guy just threw a fire extinguisher.
Tyler Baggins manipulating, fabricating, everything. So watch what she's gonna do. She's gonna throw herself to the wolves. Remember when Edie, the water boy, did this? You throw yourself to the cops, and they get the shots. And she doesn't talk through the whole thing. Makes for good dramatic photos.
The good guys always dress like the bad guys in Star Wars movies.
Cringe! Reset. Ooh, Officer Weiso Syria. See this hand-shoulder action? File that under police tricks, and remember this for Act 3. Reset.
Take a step back.
Oh, Epps. Turns out to be a control, not just an actor.
We're not trying to get people hurt.
That's what we've been saying all along. Back on the east side, things are cooking up here. Still behind Obstacle 1, and not for long. Meanwhile, at the Northwest scaffolding, welcome to Obstacle 3. That's right, in about 30 seconds, our crisis actors are gonna breach it and climb to the top, where they'll meet Obstacle 5. But first, midway, they must defeat Obstacle 4. Let's get ready to kick it! Yeah, look alive, everyone! And background. And there they go, and they just flutter up. Hey, there's Happy. Look at this guy in the corner, like he's eating a box of bath salts. Yeah, it's a Bible and bath salt kind of party. Now watch this guy. Yep, holding the Bible up for the cameras. And there's Hawaii Proud Boys leader, Nick Oakes, who we'll come back to later. And now Jacob Chansley has come down from his treehouse, and incoming. Yep, posing with the rosary. Meanwhile, a cop gives instructions to U.S. Marine Corps war veteran / digital and forensic reporter, Chris Jones. What the hell is that about? Inside, our actors are preparing to overcome Obstacle 4. Now this footage comes from the New Yorker's veteran war correspondent, Luke Mogelson. Yeah, it's just slap and tickle all over again. What is happening? As Data gets it all. Hey, it's Lieutenant, Trapper, and Carl doing nothing. At the same time, notice this cop pops through the tarp to ask Ranger for the knife that's lying here, so he can cut it, which will allow for more people to enter and further expose the scaffolding to our photographers. Now, Ranger's gonna assist him in completing the task at hand. Such a beautifully coordinated insurrection. Oh, low-lying lumber.
I'm doing my feet now.
Ooh. As Dominic Pizzola prepares for his dramatic role as Fall Guy 3. And now they're gonna hold here on Obstacle 4.
We're not stopping us now, goddammit. This is our house, motherfuckers.
Meanwhile, on the Northwest lawn, Jonesy instructs his followers from a stage of rental chairs that he paid for.
It's great that this happened.
It's great?
But the police.
Oh, what was that?
There's rocketeers that caused the problem. Trump's not gonna come when we've taken this over. Let's march around to the other side.
Yeah, let's watch how many times he pledges his allegiance while he delivers these lines.
Trump's over here. Trump's coming. Trump is coming.
Yeah, like he's Santa Claus.
March to the other side. That's where Trump's gonna be.
Ugh, just ginning up the crowd with empty promises. Per usual. Question: how many bodyguards does it take to lift a beach well from a stage made of folded chairs? Now let's check in one last time with Angel Walsh over at the Southwest Channel entrance.
I had to run away because there was a big loud boom and then there was some green gas.
See all those people in the background? In line, waiting for their turn to go. Have any of y'all ever been a background actor? Yeah, it looks just like this. All actors, not recording. Now these are our filler characters. They're mostly here to chant and take up space. So that's one group. Now another group comes in. You want to bring them in organically, in waves. So if you are an actor and you see a camera on, you're gonna do what this little girl does. You're gonna show off your little sign. Creepy. Oh, you don't think they would employ children? Okay, you've got a lot to learn. Okay, we saw your damn sign, kid. They're all just standing there, waiting for their turn.
And they just keep on coming.
Notice how...
If I have one criticism of the video, I think it's that, you know, they stage these events, but then there are people that are actually there who did bring signs and just want to participate because they see the cameras. So I'm not sure that every last person here, in fact, I don't think every last person here is a Christ actor, but he's doing a great job of documenting all the shenanigans and the staging It's just I'm not sure it's like even that. I'm not sure that kid is part of it. They could be though. They could be.
Oh, they're all coming from the right, instead of cutting through where this gap is. Because we want to make it seem like these people walk from Pennsylvania Avenue, and nobody's gonna get into character until they arrive. That's why they all look so dead inside. Remember how we said earlier the summoning was part of the show? Well, it isn't right here. And look what the crack dragged in. It's Mike Cernovich.
Going up on the lawn and push forward as far as you can.
Now before we go, let's take a closer look at our line of background actors that extends north from the Garfield Monument to the Ulysses S. Grant Monument. And remember, the street closest to the Garfield Monument, First Street Southwest, and Southwest Drive have been restricted from our public for years. Yep, all these folks still waiting to go in. These are all paid protesters, people. Look at the line. And that concludes our Southwest analysis with Angel Walsh. We were very grateful to find this footage. And we thank you and your husband for capturing it. Back on the east side, oh, we've got a little commotion. And what, pray tell, do you think was carried on this truck bed? Notice this cardboard tube for later. And they just pull the barricades down here on the South Terrace, while the cops do what they do best, retreat. It's not every day that you see Chinese grandmas contributing to your mass programming.
Wow, what a shit show at the Capitol. I'm gonna go ahead and guess stop being so gullible wasn't anyone's New Year's resolution for 2021. How the hell do people keep falling for this shit? Here's a video of the kerfuffle that happened between the protesters and the cops when they got past the barricades.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
Squabbling? Maybe they stormed it. Maybe they walked right in.
And that's exactly what they do. From the northeast to the southeast plaza, obstacle 1 is complete. Push those barricades. See this cop tugging on Kool-Aid Man. Drops his flag, never to retrieve it, just to slow it down, to whisper sweet nothings. And while these cops fake retreat, notice this massive stash of water. Yep, as they keep pouring in from all sides. Retreat, retreat. At the same time, and with impeccable timing, Jonesy and his disciples make their way towards the east. Come on, Jonesy. You know they're kayfabe cops.
We just showed up. Cops are coming out. Take them up there. Use your voices up there.
Voices? Yeah, go make us all look like freak shows, Jonesy. At 2 o'clock, C-SPAN sets up a live camera in Statuary Hall, which we've added a time code to. Also, on December 22nd, 2021, the government will release 3 hours of the Arc entrance tunnel footage, which also begins at 2 p.m. And there's the time code. Meanwhile, our actors make their way towards the east steps. Simultaneously, notice this guy placing water bottles around the perimeter, like it's an Easter egg hunt, and there it is. Yep, spaced and placed. And here, our east side actors are met with obstacle 2. Meanwhile, things are getting real explosive out by the scaffolding. Watch out, Tay-Tay! I love the fact that Taylor Hanson delivered these lines holding a lit cigarette. Now, as he retreats, a cattle of kayfabe cops arrive, where on the megaphone, they play this message.
All people must leave the area immediately. Failure to comply with this order will be subjected to arrest. They subject you to the use of a riot control agent or impact weapon.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what is he doing? You get them shots, Joseph Prezioso. Hey, here's one for you. Notice this guy comes from the crowd to take a load off, because he's setting up their next shot.
They got themselves!
Meanwhile, over on the northwest lawn, aka Heart Attack Hillside, notice our stunt guy, Homeboy, climbing up. We've got ass crack for days while we entertain the kiddies with another show. Oh, but just a little love tap sends him to the ground. As our photogs lock and load. Tay-Tay, I can see your price tag. So this guy in red, Bossy, is tending to Homeboy while our cops play scene blockers. While Legs and Dilly, just standing there like a couple of butlers. Whoop, some shady shit going on behind that tree. Notice this oddly placed Rubbermaid container. While Rufio from Act 1 records nothing, they're off, using a barricade as a makeshift stretcher. Oh, but not before sending him down for the camera crew to photo rape him. Satisfied, Bossy and his team of cops resume their journey. See this Death 2 type? Yeah, not us. Yep, still Taylor's footage. Get those pics. And this footage, news to share, comes from, quote, photographers Alejandro Alvarez and Ford Fisher. And y'all can see for yourselves the other events they've covered. And now Bicop, looking more like himself, taunts our paid protesters, as Sabrina Tavernez follows our stunt guy towards the northwest backstage area. But listen to what Bossy says to this real person.
Hey, I'm gonna break your fucking phone if you don't stop.
It's strangely enough, Adam Gray opens the gates. So Sabrina's got her shots, and she, together with Amanda Andrade Rhodes, climb the Northwest Lawn in search of something juicy. And along the way, we meet our friend, Vincent.
They hit me with bullets.
Oh, bless your heart. Back to Heart Attack Hillside, where Dilly's well on his way to having one. What is happening? Just a little spritz as she traipses away. Well, oh, watch out. Really puts the K in karma. As Yellow from Act 1, coming down the runway with some Cape charisma.
Whose house is this? Ours house.
Attaboy. Is that how you arrest someone? And now, together with our photogs, Michael Negro and Julio Rosas, our do-gooders, Sergeant Pepper and fake National Guard, are gonna move a large portion of our cops and protesters. Hey, redneck archetypes still hanging out. Incoming! Watch these two K-cops, Thelma and Dom DeLuise, just as clueless as ever. She's like, what do we do now? Out my face, yeah, out my face. Let's keep going, Thelma. You better get. And now these heroes form a line to protect our delicate deputies. And there they go. Yeah, it's a mobile standoff, over and around to the very boring North Side entrance, where we met Vincent. Osta. K-Cops, taking a K-break. And along our journey, we meet Richard Barnett, who's gonna become worldwide famous in just a few hours. And now they're gonna hold here for a minute, except for these two. And now they just single file right onto the north entrance. Back inside the scaffolding, where we are only seconds from defeating Obstacle 4. Hey, there's Happy. And in this overused clip, Data's about to make some money. Oh, he's got the hammer. Too bad he doesn't use it.
Here comes!
And there they go. While this guy and Lieutenant perform a lightsaber battle. Yeah. And this guy gets Powerated. OMG, it's Vincent. What are you doing up here, silly? He just wants to reason with them. And with a masterly sleight of hand, Vincent pulls the barricade away and slides it down to Geeswine. Hey. And now Jade and Jaden have made it to the top. Hey, yeah. Think of Vincent like the hostage negotiator. And that they will.
We're standing up for our country.
Oh, Red.
Your country and ours. Don't get in our way.
And now a lot of our stars will hold here at Obstacle 5. Now back to the east. Obstacle 2 is coming to a breaking point. Watch this. Notice this cop pulls his buddy up the stairs like he's John Minkolo. This is the cue for the other cops to follow suit, which they do. And Obstacle 2 complete. And there they go. Yeah, wave all your kayfabe friends in. And immediately some of them will take to kayfabe positions. Like this Mason tear gas haven't been brought out yet. Back to the scaffolding where the clock is counting down. Listen, Lieutenant. No one's listening, Lieutenant.
Indian, white, Chinese, we're all Americans, man.
Creepy. Oh, Red, get real friendly with Adam the cop.
Who is that?
Another creepster monitor. And at the front of the line here, just shooting the shit with the cops. Now listen to this friendly real cop.
I'm gonna get him a bottle of water, okay? Yeah, water?
So thoughtful.
They're all coming. I know. You guys will literally get trampled on. We do not want it.
Back outside, Chris Jones fights his way to get to John Farina, where overhead, Chris instructs him as the camera pans to reveal our barricaded off photog corner. Seen any cardboard tubes like this today? But what are they capturing? Simple! This guy, here in the red hat. Notice this guy with the fire extinguisher misting the area for dramatic effect. Got it. Photo by Joseph Prezioso. Complete with our load-off friend. As we come around, this cop intentionally lets this guy fake Mason, and Joseph Prezioso gets the shots. Back up the scaffolding for a domestic dispute.
Oh, that's spicy as shit. Yeah.
Do you want to trade masks?
I definitely don't.
Didn't you say you take care of me? Nope, now we know.
You believe in me now? When I say there's shit going down, there's shit going down.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't believe in
This
you.
is insane, though.
Deflecting, Jaden.
I don't believe in you when you say you care about me and will protect me.
I'll give you the tools. I'll still love you and protect you, buddy.
I don't believe.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's fine. You don't love me? I guess I love you. What the heck?
But you don't.
I do, though. Yeah, but I'm the person in the film, though.
Exactly.
If anybody needs to sit alive.
It's her?
Oh, they're going in?
Woo, saved by the bell, Jaden.
Look alive, Data!
And there they go. Hey, there's Doug Jensen. It was a big photo shoot in 6 minutes, which we'll see in Act 3 as Bike Cop runs alongside them. Here in Data's angle, we can see this conveniently placed slumber. Sneaky, sneaky. Back to Jaden, like we're inclining to the top of Capitol Hill's latest roller coaster. Oh, Jesus, I'm gonna bomb. Look at all those people. Notice this guy carrying a case of water. Hurry up, Jade, this footage ain't gonna record itself. And now we've reached, yeah, you guessed it, Obstacle 6, where Carl is just not having it.
You're not gonna follow the Constitution!
He's like, bitch, please. Now what am I gonna have for dinner? Back to the east side, where this, what looks to be 3 toddlers in a trench coat and a photog creep into the scene to shoot Hunter Allen Emke. And with just a single kick. Remember in Act 1 when we hypothesized that some of the windows have been switched out with Hollywood glass? And a real cop tackles him to the ground. And with the help of his real cop friends, arrest and detain him. But these guys aren't real. And now they're off, and they just waddle away. Yeah, I'm talking to you. While this real cop removes the remaining glass to let our K-friends in. And you would be correct. And now they've let the kid go. It gives no meaning to Walk of Shame. Back to Obstacle 6, where Bike Cop and Replacement Barbie play with their sticks.
Alright, Carl's over it.
Retreat, you counterfeit cops! My, look at this surplus of neatly placed water and this plastic rolling toolbox. Wonder what's in there. Maybe the fake election results. As we pan to one of our most important characters, who got the prize-winning footage at the Stage Rittenhouse shoot, phony protest photographer Brendan Gutenschwager, who's about to have a payday. Get those purified waters, which is just a fancy way of saying fluoridated water. Oh, fake blood, littering.
I can't believe this is reality.
Yeah, me neither. As Data and friends move from the courtyard to the northwest door, where some of our crisis actors are looking for some critique. So let's help them out, starting with Geesewine.
Yeah, I would have put a little bit more soul into it. Next, try the left one. Good job. Honey, that's real glass. Don't just stop.
And now we pan to Pizzola in the most overused mainstream media clip of the Capitol riots, filmed by none other than Gutenschwag, who sold his footage to Storyful. They always do. And with that, let's stop our investigation here at 2:12 p.m. Oh, you're so sweet. All right, simmer down now. Now, everything we've learned today will wrap up quite nicely in Act 3. Our final installment on the January 6th fake surrection. But friends, when we started this monster of a project 2.5 years ago, we stubbornly quit our jobs and lived off our savings, which lasted a whole 4 months. We've also been editing on a dinosaur of a computer, which is why this has taken so long. Needless to say, we are in danger of eviction and a little malnutrition. And we need your help to save Woo's News. Your contribution will aid us in paying a year's worth of back rent, future rent, a new computer, and put some food on our table. So please consider donating to our channel using any of these platforms. Links are in the description box. Now before we go, we'd like to introduce to you the creator of Woo's News, who wants to come out of the closet again. Raphael, can you hear me? What a marvelous introduction. Hi, I'm Rafa, and this is Woo's. Yes, folks, this is what I look like in 3D. And if someone out there can make me look a little bit more realistic like this, please email us. So, Rafa, why are you choosing to reveal your identity now? Oh, the fact that I no longer wanted to hide, and of course my protection. So why Woo's News? I'd been investigating these types of events for several years, just for myself, because I have this incessant need to know the truth. And then, of course, COVID started, and I just thought, if I don't say something now, I may never get the chance to. But this show is really an homage to David Crowley and his family, because truth be told, David is one of my greatest heroes. And, I wanted to pick up that torch that was taken from him and just run with it. Yes, and for those of you who are unaware, David Crowley became a prominent name during the 2012-2013 Truth Movement when he created the viral trailer for Gray State, which I would have just called a taste of things to come if we don't get right with Jesus. Sadly, David and his family were murdered a year later, and despite the lack of evidence, the media, as well as the Apple Valley Police Department, will have you believe it was a homicide-suicide. Case closed. And when I complete Act 3, I'm jumping right back onto the Crowley case. And speaking of David Crowley, for your protection, Rafa, we just have to ask that age-old question. No, I would never kill myself.
Or anyone else? Never. I am a light worker, bro. And shout out to the other 143,000 light workers across terra firma. Hello! Any drug addictions and pensions for small children? No, never. We had to ask. Oh, believe me, I get it. It's just me sitting in a chair for 12 hours a day for the last 2.5 years, working on this ancient iMac. Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight doing this project, but I just had to tell this story. I've been working on Woo's News for the last 4 years now, pro bono, and it's come to where we need the help of the people. So anything you can do to assist me in getting Act 3 out there would be greatly appreciated. I know they will, good sir.
Calling all patriots sugar daddies and mamas.
Right? But something I wanted to quickly mention before we go in regards to January 6th, not everyone who is facing trial and jail time is a crisis actor. There are some good people who went to DC because they vehemently opposed tyranny. And yes, I do believe the presidential elections are a ruse against the American people, but it's irrelevant because these people had good intentions. And over the last 2 years, I've come to know one of those good guys. His name is Alan Hostetter. And yeah, I would consider this guy to be a personal hero of mine as well, because Alan single-handedly organized one of the first anti-lockdown protests in the country. And that following Sunday, unbeknownst to Alan, that second protest was swarmed with informants like Russ Taylor, who testified against Alan in July and lied to the Order of Demolay Judge Royce Lambert that Alan brought a hatchet to the Capitol grounds on the 6th. And during the trial where Alan defended himself, told the Masonic judge that he believed January 6th was a federal setup involving crisis actors wearing costumes. Alan was found guilty and is now facing 10 to 20 years in federal prison as he awaits his sentencing in October 2023. I just wanted everyone to know his story for his protection and to keep him in your prayers because he's all alone and, I know he would appreciate your love and encouragement. Rafa, I believe these lines pretty much sum this up. Cue it, boys! Truth or consequence.
Okay, we gotta mute it for the copyright, but a little redo of the Foo Fighters song, There Goes My Hero. Yeah, again, the big climax of that day was Ashley Babbitt under the Speaker's Chamber sign, or Speaker's Lobby is actually what it says. Speaker's Lobby, which in Gematria is 201. Again, the number of the Jesuits, and clearly it is the Jesuits who control the world's political theater, which this very much was a part of. So, again, thank you to Woo's News. If you guys want to check out his channel, give him some support. Again, he's on Rumble, he's on YouTube. I thought his YouTube channel had been taken down. He must have reestablished. But Woo's News, WOOZ, space news. And that is the thing about when they take down your channel. You might be gone for a while. People might think it's gone. Like, I thought it was gone. It just breaks your momentum as a content creator. People lose you. They don't find you again. And it's sad because, even if you disagree with Woo's News and you think everything he has there is wrong, why shouldn't he be able to make the points he's making and give people an opportunity to see another side of the story? A lot different than what the mainstream media has been on and on about the terrible day that was January 6th and the evil Americans who didn't respect democracy. Again, it's the people ruling over us that don't respect democracy or us. They lied to us, and it's just so obvious, you guys. You really think Joe Biden got a record 81 million votes, and then just go figure that in Gematria, President Biden equals 81, so does President Trump. Trump's last post on Twitter was on the 8th day of the first month. A couple years before that, Obama was endorsing 81 candidates on 8/1. Joe Biden's hometown Route 81 runs through it. Again, these numbers have meaning. 81's a big ritual number, and that's what these people do to us day after day. They perform rituals that become the news, that become the things that people divide over and emotionally invest in. And that emotional investment needs to stop. People are getting duped and taken advantage of, and what needs to happen instead is clarity for how big of a fraud this country is and who's really behind the fraud carried out by our government and our media. So,
% unregulated in listeners.
it is the end of the show. Truth Seeker on TFR. I got to disconnect. Been doing real bad with the timing there tonight. But thank you again to the people who supported the work. VSGIA3, thank you for the membership. It's a way to pledge $1 a month. I appreciate it. Natural Law and the Occult, again, going to be meeting at the Jacksonville Stadium October 15th to educate people about rig sports. Gematria. Most Hated said, what's your favorite Tool song? Mine is H. Their favorite song is H. That's a good Tool song. I don't know what my favorite Tool song is, honestly, but I do like the band Tool. And David says, hey, Zach, thanks for everything you do. 201 days from today is August 8th. Again, that's 201 days after the Trump death hoax on Twitter, now named X. And thank you as well, Sean Paul. And some trolls even gave some super chats. But, yeah, we'll leave it there for this evening. And, again, thank you to everyone who does hit the like and the share. And hopefully next week we have the call board functioning as it's meant to. We'll get some calls in. Last week missed the show because I was traveling. But we did do that longer show in the daytime for TFR. So, tried to make up for it. And we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Till next time.